Things are gonna get crazy!
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past, and here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
Welcome, everyone, to a very special episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. And yes, I do mean that this is special because we are going to be dedicating this whole thing to this year's D23, looking into all of the big announcements, rather it be for the movies that's going to be coming out in theaters, all the shows and specials coming out on Disney Plus, and everything that's going to be coming soon at the Disney parks. And of course, as it is tradition, whenever talking about D23, I am not going to be alone here, since I am going to be teaming up with my longtime Disney partner. So please welcome back, everyone, from the YouTube channel Toucan LDM, Logan Miller. Logan, how are you doing, dude?
I am doing good. Thank you again for inviting me on this another great D23 podcast. I will say, spoilers ahead, I personally think this is probably the best D23 ever.
Really?
Yeah, in my humble opinion, because it's like there's just so much they announce as like I just really love that. I feel like I'm going to sound like a broken record when I use the word excited a lot. So keep that in mind. So because there's like so much to talk about that's like I'm just going to let you lead, and then once we get to like certain points I'll give my thoughts, because yeah, I definitely got a lot to say about this.
Oh yeah, honestly, I do understand that there is a lot to be hyped up about and a lot to be very excited for what's going to be to come. I think my only criticism that I do have about this year's D23 is there were no Muppets announcements whatsoever, other than having that one panel with Seth MacFarlane promoting his new album where he sings all the Muppet songs. Unfortunately, there isn't any new Muppet thing that they have revealed. Like, I was honestly expecting that they would go and announce like a full season of that Muppet Show reboot, but sadly, no, we ended up getting nothing, sadly.
Yeah, you think they would announce something like that after how a success that was. Like, I enjoyed it.
I love that special, and I was ready for it to be revealed at D23 for the longest time, but at this point, I would guess, like, okay, now that they didn't do it on D23, maybe they're going to do so, like, literally on the 50th anniversary of the Muppet Show itself. Like, that's my only guess.
Wait, when is the 50th anniversary?
I think it's going to be this September, like sometime this month.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, dang. What the heck, Disney? Like, where's the news?
Yeah, but other than that, though, that's my one major piece of criticism. But the rest, though, there's been a lot of great announcements and a lot of great, like, a lot of big reveals that went on that is worth hyping up for. And by the way, yes, since the chat wall has been mentioning it, it's also worth noting, rest in peace, Hayden Panettiere, considering that she recently passed away, sadly, in which she has done a lot of memorable roles, including, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't she also Kairi in Kingdom Hearts?
In the first two games, yeah, she's Kairi.
Ah, I see. Yeah,
and she's also Dot from The Bug's Life and so many other like different roles. And it is it always sucks when you see a person that young like pass away, and it is very unfortunate, and she will definitely be missed.
Nah, for sure, she will absolutely be missed. So now, with that all said, I believe now it is time that we really get into the magic. So, Logan, are you ready for this D23 episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast?
Hey there, hi there, oh there. Yes, I am excited.
All right, now Chatwall, now it's time. I want to ask you, are you ready for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Let me hear it, folks. Who's ready for D23? Or at least a recap of D23, considering that it is already done. All right, anyways, I do see people are prepared. People are all set. That is wonderful to go and see. And now, with all that said, it is now time that we shall go and get things started. And for our first one that we are going to look into, we will be getting into the live action productions that have been announced. Now, what we are going to do is going to be a little bit different, in which we're going to be looking into these announcements in different batches. They're like, some of them are going to be like a few random batches, and then there are going to be those that they'll be in their own respective categories. Like, I'm going to go and sum up like the big announcements from Pixar, or the big announcements that's going to be coming soon at Animal Kingdom and stuff like that. And then we're going to go and throw out our comments just to go and give you all a bit of a heads up on what's to come. But anyways, going back into our main subject here, I got three different articles, or three different sources that I'm going to be looking into. So the first one I got here is from Deadline. I got another one here from IGN, and I also got one from the official Walt Disney Company website. But anyways, let's go and begin with our first batch of announcements that we're going to go look into. And the first one that I want to discuss is in regards to Percy Jackson, considering that the teaser trailer for season 3 has officially been released. And this one actually promises to go in a darker direction than in the previous seasons. Or at least that is according to the star of the series, Walker Scobell. So yes, they did get the teaser trailer already out, which it is stated that now the third season is going to be premiering on Disney Plus on November 20th. Now, moving right along at the same time, speaking of Disney Plus, they also had a little moment where they have discussed about, okay, maybe they didn't talk about it here, but I believe in my other source, they did talk about it, which is in regards to Camp Rock. Yes, considering that it was just very recently that Camp Rock 3 was released, so the Jonas Brothers came on board, and they had a little bit of a moment where they talked about it, hype up the movie, as well as discussing about not just discussing, but actually performing some of the songs in the film, including One Beat Away and We Rock. And finally in this little batch here, they also revealed a new sequel that's going to be in the way, in which it is going to be a sequel of Rami and Michelle's high school reunion, confirming that Lisa Kudrow and Mira Sorvino are going to be reunited for Rami and Michelle 2. So, Logan, do you have any comments about about these announcements here?
Honestly, not really. Mainly because I'll just say this for each one. Percy Jackson. I'm not really into like the book, the source material to that, but I heard like really good things about the Disney Plus series. So I'm kind of surprised they're on their third season, because I would assume they're on their second season. But hey, I mean, good for them. I mean, definitely I like to see like stuff on Disney Plus getting like more seasons, as opposed to just like seeing just like one season and that's it. Mm-hmm. So happy for them. Camp Rock, graham crackers. No comment on Camp Rock. I didn't grow up with it. Heard good things about it, so yeah, past that. And the last one, to be honest, I have no idea that thing was a thing. Romy and Michelle. When I first heard the news about that, I was like, wait, what is this? I've never heard of it before. So I'm kind of a little bit annoyed at these legacy sequels. I feel like we're getting to the point that's like there's like too much of it now. But I mean, hey, I mean, if people really love the original film, good for them that they're getting a sequel out of it. I probably won't watch it. So, I mean, as you can clearly tell, I have no idea what it is. So,
yeah, to be fair, I would honestly say the same thing because, like, when they announced the sequel, that was honestly the first time that I've ever heard of Rami and Michelle before. I was just there like, wait, what the heck's a Rami and Michelle? And why is it already getting a sequel? And I don't have much other comments. I mean, like, I've never seen any of the Camp Rock movies. I don't really touch much of the live action Disney Channel stuff, or I haven't seen anything from Percy Jackson. I'm not familiar with the source material, but I have heard great things about the series. So at least it is good on them that, there is still more seasons to come, or at least like now there's more episodes with that season 3 happening. But
yeah.
All right. So with that said, let's go and move on to our next little batch. And well, here's another thing that we might as well get out of the way. And that is in regards to the Disney live action remakes. And I know with live action remakes, not many people are excited, but interestingly enough, there doesn't seem to be any that's going to be coming out in 2027. I mean, technically, yes, there is the How to Train Your Dragon 2 remake that's coming out. But from Disney, however, they're saving up until 2028, in which one of them that they have announced, and this is considered a big news, is actually in regards to the Tangled remake. Actually, let me show you a better source where they might have shown something in here. Yes. Okay. Yeah. All right. There we go. So yes, one of the big things that they have presented is actually the first footage or the first look of what's going to be in this live action remake of Tangled, including showing our first look on how Tegan Croft is going to be as Rapunzel, how Catherine Hahn is going to be as Mother Gothel, and Logan, do you know who is going to be playing? I'm drawing a blank here, but you know who's playing Flynn Rider?
Mr. Mustache. I honestly don't know.
Hold on. Chadwell. Actually, the Chadwell is correcting me. Milo Manheim. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, basically we got, again, Tegan Croft as Rapunzel, Catherine Hahn as Mother Gothel, and Milo Manheim as Flynn Rider. Now we got our official look into how they are going to be. And on top of that, they even confirmed a release date in which the remake is going to be coming out in theaters on March 31st, 2028. But that's not all, however, because then there is also another live action remake that they confirmed, which is going to be the sequel to Lilo and Stitch. Now, there's not a lot that they have revealed in this case. They did say that the release date is going to be on May 28th of 2028. But one thing that they did show is that the pink female Stitch, that is often known as Angel, is going to be making an appearance and possibly making a prominent role in the film. So it's just a little bit of a tease for now, but they did confirm that Angel is going to be in Lilo and Stitch too. So at this point, Logan, any comments on either of these films?
I'm so numb with these remakes. It's whatever. Yeah, because honestly, for me, it's like every time I hear about them, it's just like another day where it's like, I just don't care anymore. They can just release these and it'll be like, it's whatever. But I mean, I'll elaborate on each one. Tangled. Okay, it's one thing to remake like a hand-drawn animated film into live action, but I'm just like kind of baffled with the whole like turning like a CGI computer animated film into live action, because CG is pretty much close to real life. So it's like, I just don't see like understanding like why we want to like turn that into live action. And I don't know. I mean, it seems like with the Moana remake that just came out, with how badly that did at the box office. I mean, I'll at least give Tangled this. At least that one is much more older compared to Moana. And I don't know. I feel like people are excited for like the wrong reasons for this film. But hey, if they're excited for it, I mean, no, nothing against them. I mean, it's their own niche. I have my own different niches and all that stuff. I'm definitely not going to see it in theaters or see it at all, because I think I mentioned this before, but the last live action remake I saw was Little Mermaid, and I was bored out of my mind of that film. Oh my God. Like I was just like I had to like get up like a few times because I was just like, okay, I don't want to like get like my brain feeling numb after watching it. So it's like, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you're excited about the Tangled remake, good on you. It's just not my thing. And then in regards to Lilo and Stitch, the sequel, again, same thing. Haven't seen it. I heard people were like really mad about like the changes they made for that one, and yeah, I can kind of agree, but it's not like the worst changes they ever. Okay, it's like it's complicated to say the least. I will say this. I will give the sequel that's coming up here. I will give that one credit in which they're going to bring Angel to like the mainstream, so that way everybody will get to know who she is. Because the reason why I say that is because recently, like whenever I go to like any like store, like Disney store or whatnot, and I'll see like Stitch merchandise, they always have him next to like Angel on certain occasions, like Angel plushies, figures, and all that stuff. And I'm just like thinking to my mind, like, do kids today even know who Angel is? It's like, at least with like Stitch, like I'm sure there's like some parents out there that'll show them the original film. But with Angel, it's like, that's like homework you basically got to do in order to like watch all 65 episodes of the TV series. And I'm not sure if like some kids will have the patience to even like sit down and watch all those episodes. So, I mean, I'm glad we get to see Angel again to like the mainstream, but whether or not the film's going to be good or not, I mean, Chris Sanders is going to be directing. So it's like, it could be good, but at this point, I'm not the biggest Lilo and Stitch fan. I mean, I like the films, the original family is like just fine, but everything else is just But no, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I doubt I'll see it, but I mean, if I hear like really good things about it, maybe. But I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Nah, I understand. Although it's kind of funny the way that you describe Angel, because I feel like the best way to put it is that Angel is to Disney like how Petunia Pig is to the Looney Tunes.
Yes, that's a good comparison.
You see a lot more merch with Petunia Pig, and it's just from there where people could recognize, oh, that must be Porky's girlfriend. And it's like the same thing with Angel, where you see like, oh, that's a girl Stitch. That must be Stitch's girlfriend. You know, like, you know, like people immediately making those connections just through the merch. But yeah, I'm on the same boat as you. Like, honestly, like I don't freaking care about these remakes, honestly. Like I have also grown numb of it. And it's like, you know, it's just happening. So it's like, whatever. So even with me, like okay, there's going to be the Tangled remake. That's going to be a whatever for me. I will say, though, like with the Lilo and Stitch remake, I feel like because this has no choice but to be like an original thing. I mean, there's no way that this is going to be like a live action remake of either Stitch the movie or Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch. It has more room to go and be its own thing, to be original. And and at the very least, like as you mentioned, Chris Sanders is going to be directing and writing the film. So there is a window of opportunity where it could come out good, or maybe it'll come out bad, but at least the attempt of originality, like, you know, it will be noted. It will actually like help make it feel like it's somewhat better. That's why, like, it's like I have a little bit more respect for the Mufasa movie than the Lion King live action remake. I wouldn't consider Mufasa good, but at least it tried something to be more of its own original thing in a way. And I'll gladly take that than like a pointless remake that's just rehashing a classic animated film, but with ugly visuals.
Exactly. And funny enough, you mentioned Mufasa. I found it interesting that with these live action remakes, some of them actually do acknowledge the straight to DVD stuff, because Walt Disney Animation Studios themselves, they never really recognize any like the direct to video stuff. But because with Mufasa, they have Kiara in there. Yes. And now with Lilo and Stitch 2, they have Angel. So I'm kind of surprised by that. And it's kind of cool in a way.
Well, yeah, so, I mean, like, I know with The Lion King, it has a huge following where people are like very serious when it comes to the lore, and that they know so much about like 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 Simba's family tree, that it goes like really extended to like the different books and all that kind of stuff. So there is that. All right.
I know. I believe it. Oh no, I was gonna say I definitely believe it because I haven't touched any of those other like medias with Lion King, but I definitely know the lore behind all that. So
No, absolutely. But anyways, okay, so the good news is that now we got those out of the way, and now we can get into stuff that's a little bit more exciting. So how about we go into the Star Wars announcements? So starting things off, let's go and discuss about Ahsoka. Now, I don't think we have a confirmation on when this is going to be coming out, but Disney did release the teaser trailer for season 2 of Star Wars Ahsoka. Excuse me. Now, to go and read you a little bit on what's going to be happening in terms of the story, I'll read you here from my source on Deadline, as it states over here. Oh, actually, we do have a confirmation of a release date. I do apologize. The chat wall just corrected me by saying that it's apparently season 2 is going to be released on January 20th of 2027. Okay, thank you, chat wall. But anyways, going back into this, it says here that season 2 continues the story of Ahsoka Tano and her extraordinary journey beyond the known galaxy. As Ahsoka and her Jedi apprentice, Sabine Wren, travel across a mysterious and perilous world to find their way home, their friends must face the powerful Grand Admiral Thrawn and his sinister allies who seek to plunge the New Republic into war. And not to mention that we're also going to be getting some appearances from Hayden Christensen himself as Anakin. So once again, like the chat wall says, season 2 of Ahsoka is going to be coming out on January 20th, 2027. But that's not the only Star Wars news that they have revealed, because on top of that, there is also a little first look on Star Wars Starfighter, to which director Sean Levy and Ryan Gosling appeared on stage to go and discuss a little bit about the movie itself, and of course about Ryan Gosling's character, Cade. To which I believe this is confirmed to come out in 2028, I believe. Chat wall, I think, well, you guys are definitely more on it in terms of the release dates. Did they say Star Wars Starfighter is going to be in 2028? I just need to have a little bit of an idea of what they may say. Oh, it's earlier. Oh, May 2027. Okay, never mind. Oh, wow. I thought it was a 2020. Okay, I got you. No, not even May the 4th. It's May 28th of 2027. Okay, so that's going to be coming out soon. All right, Logan, any thoughts on the Star Wars stuff?
You know, I keep telling myself I need to watch Clone Wars. I haven't got a chance to do so. I don't know why I haven't got to that point yet, but the reason why I say this is because I know with that series, I feel like I'll have like more understanding who that character is if I were to watch the Clone Wars. But I don't know. I just feel like I haven't really caught with too much with Star Wars lately, and I'm not sure if you can see my screen. That yes, I mean I am a casual Star Wars fan, given like the stuff I have in my collection. But I just haven't really got a chance to like catch up like too much of the recent stuff. Like the last series I watched from Star Wars was the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and after that I just kind of like lost interest. So because I mean, yeah, I heard like good things about like some of the other shows that's been released, but yeah, Star Wars just haven't been like a top priority like it used to be. And I didn't even hear people talk too much about like the Mandalorian movie, so it's like I just didn't really see no point of watching it. So it's like maybe at some point I'll watch it, but yeah, lately Star Wars just hasn't been like my jam lately. Not to say that it's bad or anything. I'm not one of those like overly critical people online be like, oh, Star Wars. You know, I'm not one of those people, you know? So it's just, it is what it is. Maybe at some point, I mean, I feel like I definitely need to watch Clone Wars because I know from time to time my brother will always talk to me about it, and I'll tell him like, yeah, I'll need to get around watching it, and I just haven't, so oops.
So like either with Starfighter or with I mean, like I understand with Ahsoka, like it does feel like something you need to have research like to understand Clone Wars. But what about like with Starfighter? Like any interest or like is more of a wait and see kind of thing?
wait and see kind of thing. If I hear like really good things about it, then yeah, I'll definitely be intrigued by it. But yeah, no, yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see.
No, that's fair enough. And I do understand the feeling. I do understand your sentiment. I'm slowly trying to get back a little bit into Star Wars. Like, I did go and see Mandalorian and Grogu, and I'll just say that honestly, it's fine. It's definitely not the most memorable film of the year, or I would even say the best film of the year, but it's not the worst thing from Star Wars. I feel like, honestly, like as an addition, you know, it's like an extended episode of The Mandalorian, and it does have some cool action. So in that regards, it's like, it's fine. Like, at the very least, it's not, it's not like cringeworthy or anything like that. But I will say on my end, I don't have much interest in Ahsoka, but Starfighter, however, is something that I want to keep my eye out on, especially now that we're getting, especially right now with Ryan Gosling and how he's been doing so far, like, especially when his career has gotten a brand new resurgence with like Barbie and just recently with Project Hail Mary. I am going to be open to see how things are going to be with Starfighter. I am going to be curious on how that's going to go.
Same here. So yeah, only time will tell.
Yeah, but at this point, however, we're going to go and take a little break. And this is mainly because of the timer, just to go and reset for the sake of the ads coming in, not to go and interrupt us. So we're going to go and have a little bit of a break. And when we do come back, we're going to go into one more batch of live action stuff to go and discuss, as we're going to go and take a look at the Marvel announcements, or at least the MCU announcements. So stay tuned for that. All right, welcome back. And by the way, there is actually one more little announcement that they have done in terms of Star Wars that I forgot to mention. But I mean, technically, it was something we already do know. And that is the fact that next year, specifically, I believe on February, that Disney is indeed going to be releasing the original 1997 theatrical cut of the first Star Wars movie, not Star Wars Episode 1, but of A New Hope. So there is that as well. But
okay, that I am hyped for.
Yeah, that is something I'll definitely go and check out. Like did I make a mistake? I meant to say 1977. Sorry, 1977. I think I misspoke right there. I do apologize. Okay, so yeah, the original 1977 Star Wars cut is coming out in theaters. But now we got one more batch of live action stuff to go and discuss, and that is going to be in regards to the Marvel announcements. Yes, there have been, like, even though we did get some extra info in terms of what's going to be coming up with the MCU at San Diego Comic-Con, Disney did save some surprises at D23. One in which is that they actually presented a trailer for the upcoming Disney Plus series Vision Quest, in which they did put out the trailer and did talk about what's going to be in store in there, along with a little bit of a description. So to go and read you again on Deadline, it says here that Paul Bettany stars as Vision, a former Avenger who was introduced in 2015's Age of Ultron, killed in the 2018 Infinity War film, but was resurrected without emotions or memories. Vision Quest also features James Spader as Ultron, Todd Stashwick as the morally ambiguous mercenary paladin, and Farhan Tahir reprising his role of Roz from the MCU Kickstarter pick Iron Man. And on top of having more people that are going to be involved in the series, they have also mentioned that the show is going to be coming out on October 14th. Then afterwards, they also had a very special look into one of the most anticipated movies of this year, Avengers Doomsday, to which they released another teaser that they called a special look, this time around really focusing a lot on Doctor Doom in the movie, discussing a little bit about his backstory, and also in terms of how he is going to be a massive threat, not only in the feature, but also in the MCU. So in that regards, of course, with Avengers Doomsday, that is going to be coming out later this year on December 18th. But one of the biggest announcements and probably the highlight of the live action announcements at this year's D23 is actually going to be in regards to the X-Men. Yes, folks. Now, there have already been some things we've already known in terms of who's going to be involved in X-Men. We already know about Samara Weaving going to be playing Emma Frost. We know about Kit Connor, who's going to be the new Cyclops. And on top of the fact, if you have seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, then you already know that Sadie Sink is going to be Jean Grey. But on top of that, they have also revealed even more people that are going to be in the X-Men movie playing the iconic roles. To which they have mentioned that Indy Navarrete, fresh out of her success of Obsession, she's going to be the new Rogue. Maya Boyd is going to be Storm. Chris Abbott is going to be the new Professor X or Charles Xavier. And of course, we got Adam Driver, who's going to be the villain of the movie, Mr. Sinister, to which the feature itself is going to be coming out on May 5th, 2028. Oh, and there is one more thing I forgot to mention, just to go back onto Doomsday. I also forgot to say that there was one little thing that they did tease a bit, and that is the potential promise that we could see Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds reprising their roles as Wolverine and Deadpool, respectively. Now, is that going to happen? Is it just going to be a small cameo? That we're going to wait and see when Doomsday is going to be coming out. Now, Logan, any thoughts on these Marvel announcements?
So, fun fact, that X-Men announcements, they spoiled Spider-Man for me. I still haven't seen the new Spider-Man movie yet. That's on me. I just been busy lately. Apparently, I'm that 1% that hasn't seen the movie yet, because just now it already reached $2 billion at the box office, so I'm definitely slacking at the moment. But yeah, no, I'm definitely excited for these announcements they made for at least with the movies. Vision Quest looks all right, but I couldn't really get into like the TV shows as much compared to the movies. And even then with the movies, I'm definitely kind of like slacking behind, because the last movie I saw from Marvel is Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh. I've been meaning to watch. Yeah, I know. I'm slacking.
I mean, I understand.
Yeah, no, I've been meaning to watch like Fantastic Four and all that stuff, but I keep telling myself I need to watch it, but I just keep getting sidetracked by other things I want to watch as I'm like doing stuff on the side. But anyways, yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to know what they're going to do with Doomsday, because with knowing like the production, like of the behind the scenes stuff, like why they suddenly made the change from Kang to Doctor Doom, it's like kind of concerning, but at the same time, it's like if they can pull off just fine. I mean, judging from the trailer, it looks like really like intense. That I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with Doctor Doom, because he is definitely like one of the main Marvel villains that I'm sure like it will be pretty cool to see how they're going to like execute that, especially with like Robert Downey Jr. playing as him. Like I kind of have like different theories as like how that came to be, but whether or not, I mean, I don't want to get into like theory territory, so it's like I'm more just like curious to see how they're gonna like pull that off. And then yeah, in regards to X-Men, about time. Like seriously, like I get like it takes time to like make movies and all that stuff, but you think like it'll be something like much more sooner, but I mean, hey, better late than never. So I'm definitely liking the cast they got for this film. I'm especially happy for Indy, who's going to play Rogue, because I did see Obsession. She did a really great job with that performance, and I'm glad that she's reaching out to like getting like more opportunities to start like a different stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely intrigued to see where they go with X-Men, because I'm definitely like a casual X-Men guy, and I'm not just saying that because I share the same name as with Wolverine, but I mean, yeah, that's part of it, but you know, it's like it's still really cool. I do remember watching the original films growing up, and I thought they were really cool. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to see how they're going to execute the new generation or the new X-Men for this MCU.
Yeah, I will say, like, with the MCU, like I know there's like so much to try to go and like catch up on, and even I'm like far behind, but I do try from time to time like to get into like some like whenever I can to make the most out of my time and like to be a little bit familiar. Like I did go and see, I remember last year I went to see Fantastic Four, and that was definitely fun. Honestly, I do recommend checking it out. Like honestly, it's like the closest, like it's the closest thing to a live action remake to The Incredibles without being a live action remake to The Incredibles. But I mean that in a good way, by the way, just letting you know.
No. Yeah.
So there is that. But also, I will say, like, I did see the special look of Avengers Doomsday, and yeah, like honestly, that like even though it is just another teaser, they didn't show a whole lot. It does look interesting with the way that like now they're really presenting who Doctor Doom is. It's like it's not just going to be another, he's not just going to be another MCU villain. Like now they're showing more of what they are going to have in store with that. So that's going to be something that I will say I am very excited for what they got in there. That I could see how like there's going to be so much hype. And I mentioned this before in the podcast, but now that we have seen the massive success of Spider-Man Brand New Day, and that has immediately reignited the popularity of the MCU and bringing back intrigue onto it, I could see how a lot of that hype is going to carry on to Doomsday. And as for X-Men, that one, I like that one. I'm really curious to see how that is going to go. That I really want to see how they're going to play it out, and especially with the actors that they got, and they got some great actors as well. With they already got just to go and recheck on the cast. Like they already got Kit Connor being Cyclops. Like that's already exciting. But hearing Indy Navarrete coming in as Rogue, that's going to be great. And even Adam Driver coming in as a new mainstream villain, that is honestly going to be cool. I want to see, I know that Adam Driver is already a great actor. I want to see how he does being another fantastical villain outside of being Kylo Ren. So that I am going to that I am curious to see how things are going to go with that one. So already, I think I think overall, like with all the live action stuff that's been revealed, like for me, I would say my most anticipated from the list would be Doomsday and X-Men.
Yeah, same here, honestly. Those would be like my top contenders, like the most hyped things. And all the other stuff is like, they're fine. They range from like fine to just whatever. But yeah, hey, I mean, if it does well, it does well. So I can't really complain. But for those that actually are excited for Percy Jackson or the Tangled remake and Lilo and all that stuff. So if they're excited, go for it.
Actually, scratch that. Honestly, like I forgot one more thing. Technically in terms of the announcements, I guess you could technically add the 1977 original Star Wars technically, but I mean, it's not like a major announcement. But I would say for me, it's Doomsday, X-Men, and maybe Starfighter. I want to add that as well, just to go and mix things up a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. So I think with that said, that should do it for the live action announcements. And we're going to immediately go. Oh, actually, no, wait, no, sorry. I forgot one more thing. Oh my God. That's always I think now it is time we need to know from the chat wall, actually. Let's go and have them to have a chance to go and discuss about the live action announcement. So chat wall, let me know what you think about what are your most exciting, what are the announcements that you are the most excited for? Wow, I was about to go onto another break, but then I realized, oh yeah, talk to the chat wall. We need to talk to the chat wall now. Okay, let's see here. To be honest, most of these do absolutely nothing for me. There are some that pique my curiosity, like X-Men, but for the most part, I'm not the biggest Star Wars or Marvel guy and need some serious catching up to do. That's fair. All right, lightning round part 1. When Camp Rock 3 came on stage, my heart stopped. I thought they were making a 4th movie. Camp Rock 3 was bad, by the way. Oh, okay. Oh. Tangled. I mean, I guess Milo Manheim looked the part. Lilo and Stitch 2 has a lot to make up for. Starfighter looks really cool. The X-Men cast is fantastic. Doomsday, not so much. I thought I am intrigued by Deadpool's inclusion, and Vision Quest looks okay. Hopefully, it'll lead to a spin-off with Adrian Brody. Brody Quest. If you get the joke, you're based. All right. I will say there isn't much I have to say about this, but for me, the big standouts were the Marvel projects like Vision Quest, Doomsday, which is showing a lot of promises, and of course the X-Men announcements and the solid cast. And I'll say that with the Tangled remake, I can imagine that one could be a hit. That one could be a hit, mainly because of their decision to please people and have Catherine Hahn as Mother Gothel. Yeah, honestly, to be real, like, even though we're not excited for it, I can definitely imagine how the Tangled remake could end up as a hit.
It just really depends. Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be a hit. So there's no denying that.
Yeah. Someone mentioned that there's also the Princess Diary 3 that is in the works. Well, yeah, it's not really an announcement. Like, I know that there was a moment where Anne Hathaway came to the stage, but like she was just providing an update. Like, we already know that Princess Diary 3 is going to be a thing, and that, it's still, so she's just there to go and say that it's still happening. It's kind of like with the 1977 original Star Wars cut. It's just like, we know it's happening. It's just, it doesn't necessarily count as like an announcement per se.
Yeah, they didn't make it like a big deal.
Yeah. Any other comments, chat wall? I just want to see. Let's see. Anybody have anything else to say? When it comes to the live action stuff from Disney, I am excited for Percy Jackson, Starfighter, Doomsday, and X-Men. Curious about Tangled and Lilo and Stitch 2. X-Men got a lot of prominent casts, and Percy Jackson is going to be darker. Okay. So, I believe with that said, I think now is the time that we can go and actually have a break right now. So when we come back, we're going to go and jump onto our next big segment, to which we will get into all the big announcements at the theme park. So stay tuned for that one. All right, welcome back, everyone. And now on our next segment, we are going to have one massive round. Trust me, it'll probably take, we might need to have a few breaks in between, but there's going to be a lot to talk about in terms of the theme parks. And Logan, just out of curiosity, did you manage to catch the live stream of the presentation of the entire panel, the one hosted by Neil Patrick Harris?
I sure did. Actually, funny enough, I actually have it on my office TV here and also on my living room TV, just in case something were to happen to one to the other, just so I don't miss anything particular, because I want to make sure, I want to watch every single detail that's happening in this live stream, because I'll let you continue.
Yeah, to be very honest, though, honestly, I haven't seen it, and that's mainly because I was actually busy at that time. I was hanging out with friends, so I didn't have the most that I did was that I was able to catch up a bit on the posts and the announcements that they did on social media.
That's fair.
But yeah, so what we're going to do in this case, by the way, we're going to do like before, we're going to go into different chunks, but we're going to be separating it in the different parks that these announcements come from. Although, funny enough, though, the first announcement is not something from anywhere in the parks, but rather it's a big reveal in terms of the documentary, which, by the way, I'm just going to be using my source here on Disney Park blog to go and discuss about this. So the first thing that they have revealed is that the Disney Plus documentary series, The Imagineering Story, is actually going to be coming back. Yes, Leslie Iwerks and her team are going to be doing a season 2 of The Imagineering Story, to which they're going to go and catch up on what has happened since the first season of it. So basically, it's going to be covering how the Disney parks were during the pandemic, all the way up to how things are now, including all the different reveals of, or all the different things that they have made and released in the meantime. So, of course, they're going to be covering stuff like they're going to talk about Fantasy Springs in Tokyo, or they're going to talk about Disney World Adventure in Paris and stuff like that. And even all like the different rides that they have opened, the new animatronics that they've done, like the Olaf animatronic. And that is actually going to be something in which they have confirmed that will be released in 2028. Logan, you have seen you've seen the Imagineering Story, have you?
Oh yeah. Once Disney Plus launched, that's like one of the first things I watch. And yeah, no, I definitely enjoy like learning about the history of like the Disney theme parks and all that stuff. Yeah, most of my time, if I'm like animating or something, if I need something to put on in the background, I always like put on like Yesterworld, Defunctland, and all those other channels that talk about like the history about like Disney theme parks and Universal as well, because I definitely love both, especially Disney. And going back to the Imaginary Story, I definitely enjoyed watching that. It definitely like gives like new perspective of like how these parks are made. And I'm especially looking forward to, I mean, I was not expecting a season 2 out of this, but I'm definitely intrigued by it because you don't really get to hear much about like modern Disney history about all that stuff. Like you mentioned, like about how they got to deal with like the pandemic and like going like the history about like Fantasy Springs and all that stuff. Like I'm definitely intrigued to learn more about like the modern theme park history and all that stuff. And side note, it's always interesting to know like if there's one thing I want to like know about like Disney in general, it's like I want to learn more about like the more canceled projects in recent years. And the reason why I mention it is because going back to the first season of The Imaginary Story, one thing that caught my eye throughout the whole thing is like during like one of the interview sections, I forget who it was exactly. I noticed like in the background, they had like this animatronic of Alice from Alice in Wonderland just in the background. And I was like really intrigued by that because like, what was that made for? And I heard like rumors, like, or I heard like stories like originally there was supposed to be like a Alice in Wonderland, like dark ride for Tokyo Disneyland that never really came to be. So I'm kind of like intrigued if that was like made for that specifically or not. But I don't know. That just like really distract me in the background. Like that's just interesting. So, but yeah, I just want to like see, like definitely, I'm definitely intrigued to learn more about like the modern history of like the Disney theme parks because I'm always fascinated to know like the behind the scenes stuff, like how things were like made, operated. If there's like certain like controversies that happen, if there's like certain like anything Disney parks related, I'm always fascinated by.
No, of course. Like I honestly love that. I honestly love The Imagineering Story. I think it's a wonderful documentary, and it's honestly a pleasant surprise to hear that now there's going to be another one coming up. But now that we are going to be getting the season 2 of it, I am intrigued to see how things have been, like to have like a recap of in a way, like a recap of this decade, especially with what like how Disney managed during the pandemic. What are like the new big updates that they have done over the years, to see like some of those behind the scenes of it. Yeah, so overall, though, that's definitely going to be one thing that I'm actually, that's like one of my top things that I am hyped up for. I mean, it's going to be a long time until we'll hear anything about it because that's going to be coming out in 2028. But still, though, like the fact that we're getting more Imagineering Story, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to it. The wait will be worth it.
Oh, yeah. But with that said, now let's actually get into the theme park news. And one of the first ones that I want to look into is actually going to be in regards to the international parks, because surprisingly enough, there wasn't a whole lot that was revealed in terms of the parks from different parts of the world, like Paris, Hong Kong, Tokyo, or Shanghai. But they did talk about a few things. Like, for example, there's also some major announcements in terms of Space Mountain. First off, we got the Space Mountain from Tokyo Disneyland, in which they have an update that that we now have a title for it called Space Mountain Earthrise, to which it says here, reading from my source on Disney Park blog, that guests will launch into the cosmos and experience the wonder of Earth from a perspective unlike anything seen before in a Disney attraction. But in terms of Space Mountain, the biggest announcement is in regards to Paris, because in the Paris Space Mountain, they got like this Star Wars theme going on called Hyperspace Mountain. However, it is now confirmed that Hyperspace Mountain is coming to a close at the end of 2027 in order to make room for the original Disneyland Paris version of Space Mountain. Yes, folks, De la Terre à la Lune is officially coming back. They're going to be restoring the Jules Verne theme to its original glory onto the attraction. And again, we're going to have to wait a little bit, and it'll probably be sometime in 2028 that they're going to go and bring back De la Terre à la Lune. But at least now with that, it is indeed going to return. But that's not all, however, because going back in Tokyo, there was also another ride that's going to be coming up, which is going to be called Sugar Rush Sweet Rescue, which is going to be the first Wreck-It Ralph themed ride, in which it says here, guests will join Ralph and Vanellope inside the game of Sugar Rush, where they'll help transform rogue sugar bugs back to their original forms while trying to stay one step ahead of King Candy. But then going back to Paris again, there is also another ride that they fully went into detail that's going to be coming up. Considering that just recently they opened up Disney World Adventure along with some new areas with it, including an entire Arendelle section. They also talked about an upcoming attraction, which will be the Lion King Log Flume Ride, in which this is going to be one of those attractions where you ride the movie and you experience and you get to go on this log and you see like special iconic scenes from The Lion King left and right, and then suddenly you go down a 55-foot drop. So there is also that going on. Oh, sorry, it's not. Sorry, I might have. Sorry, I think I did a little bit of a mistake. It's not Disney World Adventure. It's Disney Adventure World. Sorry about that. That's my little mistake right there. All right, so with these batches of news, Logan, I'd like to know what you think.
Before I give my thoughts on those individual rides, I want to say something really quick. I actually have gotten the opportunity to go to Hong Kong Disneyland, Shanghai Disneyland, and both Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo Disney Sea this past June. And long story short, it was probably one of the best trips I had in my life. I honestly don't know how I'm going to top that going forward. But yeah, no, I definitely had a great time. And I figure I want to mention that now because there's like some things I want to mention about that trip in regards to these news that's coming up. Mm-hmm. In regards to the Space Mountains, yeah, I actually got a chance to see the construction work of the one being made in Tokyo. Looks really great. I wish I would have the opportunity to actually go on it when it was like open, but yeah, at that point I can't really complain. It's just really cool to just see them actually. It just blows my mind that they demolished the original Space Mountain and just rebuilt from scratch. I just think that's like really awesome of them to do so because. Yeah, if there's one thing like Tokyo Disneyland is really good at, it's like they know how to like keep things like somewhat modern and like know how to maintain their rides really well. And I'm very intrigued what they're gonna do with this new Space Mountain. It just looks freaking awesome, just from like concept art and just seeing it in person and all. And for the one in Paris, that one took me by surprise because, granted, I still need to go to Disneyland Paris. That's like the only park I need to like visit in person. But just hearing the history about like how the original Space Mountain, their version of Space Mountain came to be, thanks to Defunct Land. Yeah, the original version, like that was the ride that saved Disneyland Paris. Because if it wasn't for that ride, we wouldn't have Disneyland Paris today. It would have been like completely like shut down and be gone forever. And yeah, no, I'm glad they're bringing back the original version because I'm always like, just like seeing like clips and like pictures, like what the original Space Mountain was over there. It looks really cool. Like it looks definitely very unique with the original story and all that stuff. And here's the thing about like Hyperspace Mountain. I did actually experience that when I was at Hong Kong Disneyland because their Space Mountain is still Hyperspace Mountain. And I mean, it's Space Mountain. It's still going to be awesome regardless. But the Star Wars theme, it didn't really add much to it. You're just basically just like going through like the same motion of Space Mountain, just with like screens here and there. And it's quite obviously they are screens. But again, it's just like, it's more like a nitpick than anything. Like space, it's still like the Space Mountain as it is, still awesome. But no, I'm definitely intrigued about the Space Mountain there. Before we go on to the other rides, do you have your thoughts on Space Mountain, Matt?
Well, when it comes to these Space Mountains, I am curious to know how they're going to go and update it. Like the only one that I have been into, admittedly, is just the one in Magic Kingdom. But just like you, I've heard a lot of amazing things about De la Terre à la Lune, especially like with the whole history, thanks to Defunct Land, about how that was the ride that saved Disneyland Paris ultimately. And it was disappointing to hear about like how they did Hyperspace Mountain, and it's just like Space Mountain, but now with Star Wars. And like, you know, I feel like that's one of those prime examples of the criticism of when Disney would take a classic attraction and then just throw in an IP into it. But now hearing that they are going to bring back De la Terre à la Lune, that for me, like, I will admit I'm not a major roller coaster guy, so like I would still be a little bit hesitant if I want to go and ride it because I've heard that it could be like it's like next level in terms of the thrills with Space Mountain. But still, though, it is exciting to hear that the original is going to be coming back. And I'm not going to lie, after the announcement, I decided to go and take a listen to the music, and oh my god, like I think that's one thing I'm more excited about is to hear that music is going to be coming back, because honestly that score is phenomenal.
I didn't consider doing it. I need to do that after this podcast. I didn't consider like doing that.
It's a little piece of music. It's just 2 minutes long, but honestly, it's so worth it. And honestly,
nice.
Considering that I was at Tokyo Disneyland last year, I was like you, honestly. Like I didn't like, of course, I couldn't get to go in it, but I did see I did see Tokyo Disneyland, or I did go and see the Space Mountain there being constructed. So at least like I saw it being made.
Oh yeah, no, it looks awesome, and I'm curious to see what the video entail because at this point I probably will end up watching POV videos of it because I honestly don't know when I'll be able to go back there again. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, looking forward to Space Mountains. In regards to Wreck-It Ralph, that's also going to be like really cool, especially since like when I went to Tokyo Disneyland, they had like this like Sugar Rush theme event happening where Vanellope is like the mascot for this like sweet event thing. I don't know how to literally explain it. It's more just like you see like decorations based off like cookies, candies, and all that stuff, and they have like a special parade based on all that where Vanellope is like the lean reader of this kind of thing. It's really cute and it's really nice. And yeah, I honestly don't know how to explain it. It's just like you just gotta like watch it and see it for yourself. But
yeah, honestly, I just want to go and say that I get what you actually mean, because when I went to Tokyo Disneyland, it was the same thing that was happening, except instead of Vanellope, it was all themed to Donald. It was a big celebration of Donald Duck, and they would have like Donald Duck parades and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just find that interesting. And from the pictures I see, pictures and videos I see in the Donald Duck one, I mean, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, it's like you can't really explain it. You just gotta like be there and just like witness it all. But
Yeah.
anyways, going back to the ride itself, that's another one where I unfortunately missed out on because I'm sure like it would have been like so cool. Maybe I will admit, I think I might have mentioned this before, but I'm not the biggest fan of the Buzz Lightyear type rides where you just go
Yeah.
like you sit down and you just like shoot around and like to like shoot the enemies and all that stuff. And I mention this now because going back to Hong Kong, I went on the Ant-Man and the Wasp ride, the ride that replaced their version of Buzz Lightyear, and that was like one of the worst rides I've ever been on to any of those
Really?
parks. Yeah. Well, worst is like a strong word. It's so boring. It's like you shoot around and I'll give Buzz Lightyear credit. At least you got stuff to look around. You see like all these like different animatronics and like it's colorful at certain points. But with Ant-Man the Wasp, you're just like basically in this like dark, dull. You see mostly dull grays and like lots of screens, and there's really not much you can really shoot at. And there's been like moments where we will like stop for like 5 minutes, and then we'll like continue, and then we'll stop again for another 5 minutes. And at this point, it's just like, oh my god, I just want to get off of this ride. So,
Dang.
but to be fair, that's like the only like bad ride I experienced during my trip, and that's not really saying much. I mean, it's really all the rides are really awesome. It's just like that one was just like a letdown.
Yeah.
But no, the reason I mention it is because I feel like with like the Wreck-It Ralph ride, knowing how Tokyo Disneyland do like their modern rides, I feel like this could be like the more superior Buzz Lightyear type ride. Just, I mean, I could be completely wrong on this, but I feel like knowing like how they execute their rides and all that stuff, like I feel like we could be getting something very special. And especially since we saw like those brief clips of like what the Ralph animatronic looks like, I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
Honestly, I didn't get to see any of those clips. Actually, I am like,
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't. No,
Oh.
I didn't get to see that. I didn't know that they showed off like a Ralph
Oh,
animatronic.
yeah.
I am curious. Like maybe after this, I would have to go and double check on like what they presented. But that honestly does sound cool.
Yeah, he's huge. Like he's definitely up to scale to like what you imagine Ralph would be in real life.
Oh
So
dang!
yeah,
Okay.
so awesome. And then the other one you mentioned is Lion King, right?
Yeah, the Lion King one.
Okay. Yeah, I am. Okay, I mentioned before that I haven't been to Disneyland Paris. Now knowing the news about Space Mountain, is that one and the Lion King ride. I'm gonna wait to hear what the opening dates are for those two rides in particular because I'll definitely want to like check those out. But with Lion King, I'm honestly surprised it took them this long to actually do a Lion King ride, seeing how big the original film was back in the 90s. So,
Yeah.
I mean, again, like better late than never. And funny enough, I was scared at first when they made that announcement back the last D23 because when they showed the concept art of like the characters from the live action version, I was thinking to myself, no, no, not the live action one. But then like later they clarified, no, 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 they're basing it off the original classic film. And I was like, oh, thank goodness. I don't want to deal with like a log viewing version of the Jungle Cruise, you know? So, but no, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what they're gonna do with the Lion King because it's like I'm just loving the idea of like them making like modern rides based on like the classic animated films. Because going back to Tokyo really quick, when I went on the Beauty and the Beast ride and their new
Yes.
yeah, and the new version of the Peter Pan ride they got at Disney Sea, I'm just like it just leaves me with like goosebumps because it's just like seeing like hearing the music, seeing all of like the magic and all that stuff with like all these classic rides with the classic movies with like modern technology. It's so awesome, and I'm like really intrigued at what they're gonna do with the Lion King because yeah, like I said, like it's one of the Disney's like biggest movies in regards to the animated films. And just like seeing what they got with the concept art, it just looks like it's going to be something very special. And oh man, what they're going to do with like the Circle of Life scene, like I couldn't imagine what they're going to do with that. That's going to be freaking awesome if they're going to pull off just right.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like I do agree with you. I feel like it's just You know, it's about time Disney does give The Lion King a true ride, because like after all these years, like they do like little shows and they do things like Festival of the Lion King. Like there was obvious like Lion King presence going on, but we never had like a true ride that's just dedicated to the Lion King. At least this one is going to be something. So that's one that I am very curious to see how they're going to go and pull off. And I mean, also with Sugar Rush, I need to go and check out more of like what they did reveal at the convention, or what they revealed at the panel. But that's also another one where it's like, yeah, with Wreck-It Ralph, like I want to see like what they would do in order to go and pull off a whole ride based on that, especially if it is going to be like another shooter.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely intrigued by both these rides. Like, honestly, all the rides we're going to talk about going forward, I am definitely being intrigued, but we'll go into more details when we get to those.
Yeah, we'll go one by one. And speaking of which, let's go and move ahead to another batch of announcements. This is just going to be a quick one, I believe, but this is going to be in regards to the cruises, because of course we did get some info in regards to what's going to be coming up with the Disney Cruise Line. And first off, we got the Disney Believe, to which that is going to be setting sail in 2027, and they revealed the basically the characters that will be prominent in the cruise. Like when you enter the Grand Hall, you're gonna have a big Moana statue, and then when you look into the stern, it's going to have Woody and Buzz featured, and on the bow, it's going to be Tinkerbell that's going to be presented. And then afterwards, they also revealed that in 2029, there's going to be a whole new class of Disney cruise ships that are going to be happening. So they do have some big plans of what they're going to have in store, with more cruise ships that are going to be happening and more different types of different cruises that people would go and take. Considering that right now we have 4 different categories of cruises that they have, like with one category is with the Disney Magic and Disney Wonder. Another category features Dream and Fantasy. Then you got another one that has a whole bunch, which I believe is like the smaller ones, with Wish, Treasure, Destiny, and Believe. And finally, another one that is completely on its own for now, which is Adventure. Do you have any quick comments in regards to the cruises?
I feel like if I'd been to one of these cruises, I'll have a lot more to say, but since I haven't, honestly, not really. I mean, they look cool. I wish I could experience one of them someday, but given what the prices are, it's like they won't be anytime soon.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more focused on the theme parks themselves. Like the cruises, yeah, they're cool, but they're like very low priority at the moment. So yeah.
No, that's very fair. I mean, like, at least we got time to like go and include it. And apparently, sorry, just another correction, but apparently the one with, apparently the cruises that feature stuff like with, just to go back, like apparently the cruises that have Wish, Treasure, Destiny, and Believe are apparently the second biggest. Just to have a bit of a correction over there. Yeah, I will say, like, I mean, for me, a cruise is a cruise, so there's not really a whole lot that I could go and say. It's just that right now we're going to go and have a break. I just figured, well, you know what? Let's go and just squeeze it in before we move on to the next things, because there's still a lot more announcements from the theme parks to go and discuss. So when we do come back, we will go and discuss about, well, what a coincidence, because when we return, we're going to go back and discuss about the Marvel announcements of what's coming up in the theme parks, and then we will talk about the American announcements. So stay tuned for that. Welcome back. All right, so now that we got our first taste of the theme park announcements, now we do have a lot more, and this is where things are about to get more exciting. So we got our little appetizers, more of our international taste, but now let's go into the updates with what's going to be in store with Marvel. Yes, there are going to be some Marvel announcements going on. Okay, well, that didn't really work out as well as I thought. Hold on a sec. We just need to go and see where they would be. Where the fridge is it? Where are you? Oh, okay. Well, they didn't even put up a picture. Okay, so anyways, let's get into the Marvel announcements. Yes, we do know that there are a few places around the world in which the Avengers are going to leave their mark at the Disney parks. But now we have received a lot more info with what is going to be to come with these new Marvel rides. First and foremost is going to be the big Marvel attraction that's going to be at Disney California Adventure, what is it again? Suddenly I just drew a blank, but oh yes, Avengers Infinity Defense, in which they have revealed, by the way, that all the work that is currently going on at Disney California Adventure, that is actually going to be prepared for 2028. And with Avengers Infinity Defense, they did promise there's going to be so many different Marvel characters that you will go and see to go and fight off against King Thanos. But they did state over here that a lot of the original actors are indeed going to be coming back to go and reprise their roles for the rides. So from there, they did state that in the pre-show of Infinity Defense, you are going to be getting a briefing from Miss Marvel. Oh, excuse me. I don't know where that came from.
It's all good. Oh, you good, Matt?
Yeah. There we go. Just needed to get all that out of my system. But yes, we are going to be getting a pre-show where you're going to get a brief from Miss Marvel, played by Iman Vellani. And on top of that, they also stated that other people that are going to be returning here include Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, Anthony Mackie as Captain America, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, and Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. So yes, apparently this is going to be set in a universe where Tony Stark is still alive. And speaking of Tony Stark, by the way, there is also going to be a new attraction that is specifically in Stark Industries, which is called Stark Flight Lab, which is going to be a robot arm coaster type attraction in which you will be testing out your flight skills to be a part of the Avengers. So of course, this is another one where RDJ is going to be Iron Man, Anthony Mackie is coming back as Captain America, and you even got Brie Larson, who's going to be Captain Marvel. And next up, they've also discussed about how Hong Kong Disneyland is going to be getting another Avengers Campus. But it's not going to be called Avengers Campus. This time in Hong Kong, it's going to be called the Avengers Research Testing Labs, in which they are going to have their own drop tower themed attraction, in which you see in concept art, it will be featuring characters like Black Panther, Thor, Doctor Strange, and even confirming that Spider-Man is also going to be involved in the attraction. So at least Hong Kong is going to be having an area where you can go and meet up with your favorite superheroes. And then finally, for our final batch of Marvel Disney Park news, there's also going to be Shanghai Disneyland, in which this one is not going to be themed to the Avengers or to the MCU or entirely on the MCU. This one is actually going to be an entire Spider-Man themed land. So it's just going to be on Spider-Man, and even confirming that there's going to be a roller coaster in the attraction. So it even says here in terms of the little piece of info that's going to be involved, many dialed in fans may recognize WEB, or the Worldwide Engineering Brigade, from the Avengers campus located at Disney California Adventure and Disney Adventure World, as the organization was set up by Tony Stark and encouraging young people to experience with new technology. That's not what I wanted to go and look for. Specifically inside, oh, it's right here. Inside the new land, Peter Parker and his friends have created a new set of spider bots to help assemble their experiments to help build their brand new coaster. And as you can imagine, it looks like things might not go as planned in here. So, Logan, I'd like to know what you think about the Marvel announcement here.
I'm going to start with the international ones first. Yeah, when I was like there for both Hong Kong and Shanghai, I actually did see them actually like the construction site of both of those rides. I didn't really see much out of the Tower of Terror in Hong Kong, or at least their version of the ride, but I did see a lot from Shanghai with like how they're like building the Spider-Man roller coaster and all that stuff. And from what I saw, it looks like it's going to be like really awesome. Yeah, I wish I was there when it was open, but again, can't really complain because that trip is awesome overall. But yeah, no, I'm really intrigued what they're going to do with like both of those versions, because Tower of Terror is one of my personal favorites out of all the rides at Disney. And so any like, even if it's just like a copy of the ride system, like with Guardians at California Adventure, like that's still lots of fun. But to me, the OG Tower of Terror is still one of my all-time favorites. So I'm kind of like intrigued what they're going to do with their version of that ride system at Hong Kong. Must be really cool. I mean, originally I thought it was going to be just like Spider-Man and Spider-Man alone, but hey, I mean, can't complain like bringing all the other Avengers to this ride. So definitely looking forward to that. What do you think about those two rides, Matt?
With those two rides, well, honestly, like it's more like again, it's more of a factor of like interest. So like considering that it is more like with Avengers and Marvel and stuff like that, and especially with the fact that like they're like far away from me, like with Hong Kong and Shanghai. I mean, it's something that I am curious to see what they will do, but it's not like on the top of my list of like possible intrigues that they will go, you know, of what they may go and immediately pull off. So it's more like, okay, it's like new Marvel rides and it's going to be in different places from around the world. So like those ones, I think for me is more of a wait and see kind of thing.
That's fair. And most likely, like same with like the other rides we mentioned for the international parks, I'll probably just watch like POV videos on YouTube when the time comes because so, but yeah, no, definitely intrigued what they're going to do with those. But as for like the Marvel and California Adventure, that one I'm definitely looking forward to because I'm definitely intrigued to see from like what I heard about like the main ride itself, where you gotta like go against like King Thanos and all that stuff. And you mentioned that in this universe, Tony Stark is still alive. This will play off with like the multiverse of it all, where we're gonna see like different dimensions of like all the other like Marvel universes and all that stuff. And yeah, I know some people are annoyed with like the whole like dimensions and like multiverse and all that stuff, but I'm kind of intrigued what they're gonna pull off with this ride because seeing it like in action would be pretty awesome. And yeah, from what I heard, it is going to be pretty similar to like the Spider-Man ride at Universal Studios, like that same like ride system.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think like what they're going to do with it is going to be very unique in a sense. But I mean, it's really hard to say at this point because they didn't really show. I mean, they show like a lot, but nothing like too greedy needy, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like they show like the behind the scenes stuff, like how they did like the green screens and all that stuff, and some of the props, like all that stuff. Like I just remember like seeing the clips they got, like they showcased like the Panther statue from Wakanda, like in person. Like that's gonna be like pretty cool to see. So yeah, no, I'm definitely intrigued by that, and yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to when that happens. Not much to say about the other ride. It's just your typical like Kuko Arm like ride system, but not. It's kind of like what you come to expect from like the rides at Universal, like with the Harry Potter ride, and I guess with their new Universal Monster ride, they got
the Monsters Unleashed.
Yeah, which I haven't been to, which I want to at some point. That's definitely going to be top priority that I want to go to Epic Universe because I heard really cool things about that park. But anyways. yeah, I feel like it's going to be like a less intense version of those rides. But I mean, it looks to be cool. I mean, I'm glad there's going to be like a much more smaller ride to go with like the rest of the Marvel land there. Honestly, the more rides, the better, because I feel like anything that more ride inclusions will be better for all the parks, really, because when the parks get busy, they get super busy, and you definitely need like those like distractions to help like keep things flow a little bit more better per se. And I'm glad there's going to be something like that with the Marvel Land. And yeah, I know like when the Marvel Land first opened in California Adventure, people were like a little disappointed by the outcome because it's just Guardians of the Galaxy and the Spider-Man ride, and that's it. And I know some people were like let down by the Spider-Man ride. Honestly, I really enjoy that ride. It's definitely a great workout. I will say that, because you gotta like use your arms to like shoot around and all that stuff. And dude, that I felt like so awake after that.
Well, you're used to working out. That's the thing.
What I mean, what can I say? You know.
Yeah, you are built for that Spider-Man ride.
Yeah, no, I personally love it, but no, the reason I mention that is because I feel like once these two rides are open, that's where I feel like the whole Avengers Campus will feel complete.
Yeah,
because I'm sure you already knew this, but originally they were going to do something completely different with like their main e-ticket attraction, where I guess you're supposed to, it's still going to be Avengers themed, but I guess it's going to be more like you're in like these jetpacks kind of thing. Not quite sure what the full teaser about that ride is going to be, but unfortunately they had to cancel that version because I assume it's because of COVID. I could be wrong, but honestly, I'm glad they went with like this new direction with the Avengers, because you're definitely bringing in more of the Marvel characters that will be more. You're pretty much bringing all the other Marvel characters into like one big ride, and yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to what they're going to do with it, especially since they're going to bring in Thanos again, or at least a version of Thanos. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, honestly, I think like out of all the Marvel announcements, or at least the ones in the parks, like Infinity Defense is the one that I'm looking forward to the most. I'm honestly surprised because like I thought, I don't know why, like maybe I misinterpreted wrong. I thought the technology with the robot arm and Infinity Defense are both going to be the same thing. I thought they would be two of the same attractions, and that Infinity Defense would be like what we've seen with either Harry Potter or Monsters Unleashed. But no, I guess I could be wrong. But then again, like that doesn't change how I'm still excited for Infinity Defense, because if anything, like if we end up like a Marvel version of Rise of the Resistance, I think I'm still going to be completely on board, even though like, yeah, we're going to see like a bunch of, we'll still see like a bunch of screens like to see what the action is going on. But did they promise at least there's still going to be like, we may see some animatronics of some familiar heroes and stuff?
If I'm going to, they didn't like really specify the animatronics, but if I'm going to assume, I feel like Miss Marvel would probably be an animatronic, given like the concept art that we see of her.
Okay.
And I feel like, and if they have to bring like another animatronic, they have to do one with King Thanos. They have to.
Yeah.
That would be really awesome to see. But yeah, there will be, again, these are just like my assumptions. I'm not sure if they're going to go with that route or not, but knowing the ride system for like the Spider-Man ride, and also with the Peter Pan ride in Tokyo, that's also the same like ride system. Okay. I feel like there won't be as much animatronics or even at all. But again, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, true. And I mean, like, I'll even say, like, I did enjoy the Spider-Man ride when I was at Universal. So, like, even if it turns out to be something kind of like that, like, I could still see this working out quite well. So, yeah, I think for me, like, with all these announcements, I like a lot of these are cool. Like a lot of them are like thrill rides. But for me, Infinity Defense is like the one I'm keeping my eye out on the most.
Oh, yeah, same here.
All right. So with that said, now we're going to go back into America. And now we're going to go and take a look into the Disneyland announcements, because Disneyland did get a few reveals with what's going to be in store. So first things first, they did reveal that at Disneyland, there are going to be some nighttime shows or some special fan favorite shows that are going to be coming back in 2027. So on February of 2027, not only are they going to be bringing back the nighttime fireworks show at Disneyland, Remember Dreams Come True, but also the original but kind of updated World of Color is going to be coming back at Disney California Adventure. But at the same time, during the day at Disneyland, we are also going to be getting the Magic Happens parade going on. So that's going to be coming back. At the same time, they have also made another announcement in terms of the Coco ride. Yes, we know that Coco is going to be getting a new ride at Disney California Adventure. But now we actually got a little bit more info on what's to come. Now, they promise with this that this is going to have the same vibe as what they have done before with like Pirates of the Caribbean or Haunted Mansion. But in this case here, now they want to do a new original story with Coco, where in this case, it's going to be set a year after the events of the movie, or technically it's going to be happening in between the first and the second Coco, in which in here, there's going to be like a special event that's going on. As you can see in the concept art, in the queue or the pre-show, there's going to be a Casa Museo, in which is going to be dedicated to the real music sensation of Coco, which is Miguel's great-great-grandfather, Hector Rivera. And from there, we also see some more concept art promising some fascinating technology with what they're going to do with animatronics, with practical effects, with special effects, and many, many more, about bringing back not just the mortal characters, but also to help bring guests to the land of the dead and to see these iconic characters. Now on top, and there is actually one more announcement they made for Disneyland, and they saved it near the end, in which they have revealed that Tomorrowland at Disneyland is going to be getting a massive update, to which it even states here that the transformation will honor the legacy of the original land while reimagining its future with new attractions, more open spaces, and new places for you to dream about the future. So, Logan, what do you think about these Disneyland announcements?
In regards to the shows they have coming up, there's really not much I can really say about those, because I'm hit or miss when it comes to like if I actually want to see those in person or not. I mean, they are really cool, don't get me wrong. The only one I am excited for is World of Color, the original one, because I feel like when it comes to like the World of Color itself, like the OG is the more superior version. I feel like that one's like much more memorable when it comes to like the music and like when it comes to the original music, the music choices and all that stuff. Because from what I've seen, both the other versions of the show, they're not bad. They're just not. They don't really gel with me as well compared to the original. So I'm definitely looking forward to the OG. I will say with the recent show to celebrate the 70th anniversary, at least that one have the Muppets. So for your segment, I'm glad they have the Muppets in for at least for like the pre-show at least. So, but yeah, in regards to Coco, I'm going to say this word again over and over again, but I'm definitely excited for Coco. It's definitely going to be interesting how they're going to like execute that ride, especially since if it's going to like pay homage to like how they did like Pirates and Haunted Mansion and all that stuff. I'm really intrigued with how they're going to do the skeleton animatronics, because I feel like with that it's going to be really tricky to see how they're going to like pull that off like flawlessly. And I feel like we might have got like a hint of like how they're going to do that with like that one update it did with the Pirates of the Caribbean, with that one animatronic in the treasure room that
that guy, yeah,
the one that people really hated.
Yeah.
I feel like we might get something similar to that, but honestly, with that one side tangent, that animatronic, it's not that big a deal, honestly, for me at least. I can see why people hate it, but for me, I feel like if you see it in person, it won't be that big a deal. But videos just make it look worse. But I don't know. It's whatever. But anyways, Coco, yes. Definitely excited for it, especially since Coco is definitely in one of my personal favorite Pixar movies. So I'll definitely love to see how they're going to execute all that within like the execution, the songs, and especially with the animatronics. Like again, I'm really intrigued how they're going to do like the skeleton animatronics and all that stuff. Tomorrowland, I'm definitely intrigued. I mean, this is something people are like talking about for years, saying like, oh, they need to update Tomorrowland. They need to update Tomorrowland. And I'm really glad they're going to do an update with Tomorrowland because it definitely really needs it, especially like if you know like what's currently there and all that stuff. It's not the worst land, but it's pretty much a mess at the moment, at least when it comes to Disneyland itself. As for what my predictions are, what they're going to do with Tomorrowland, it's really hard to say because I feel like a lot of people have like different opinions of like what they want out of it. The main thing in general is the people mover. People really want to see that coming back. That could be a possibility. I mean, I'm not one of those people that's like holding my breath for it to come back. But if they do bring it back, it will be really cool. Actually, it would be really funny if they were to bring back the rocket rods. Like, if you know the history of rocket rods,
that one.
yeah, no, people will be so mad if they were to do that, which I doubt they would. But it would be so funny if they tried that again. Honestly, for me, my main thing when it comes to Tomorrowland that I'm hoping they're going to do something with, they got to do something with that theater where Carousel of Progress used to be. That thing has been sitting there for like so long empty. They either need to do like a new show or just like tear the whole building down and just replace it with something else because that's a okay, it's not like the biggest space, but it's definitely big enough that you could do something with it. Like I said, maybe like a new show, maybe like something really small, but they just need to do something with that building. It's been sitting there for so long, and it's like sitting there empty for so long that something needs to be done with it.
No, I understand what you mean. And one thing I will say, just to get this out of the way, I'll admit I am not a fan of that new Pirates of the Caribbean animatronic. Like, I know I don't have the strongest opinion on this. Like, I haven't been in the actual ride itself to see it with my own eyes. So, like, I know that, like, what I say is not as strong as those who have seen it, but from like the clips that I've seen and stuff like that, it does look awful. Like it does reinforce the idea of how like Disney's obsession with these projector screen faces is just, yeah, it's not good. Like honestly,
Yeah.
I would have preferred if Disney would just bring back the original skeleton than they would like have that thing going on.
Yeah, especially since they actually did replace the Anna and Elsa animatronics from Epcot from those face projections to like the actual ones. So
Yes.
it's like, I just don't. I mean, they're still going to continue making animatronics like that, but it's all with the skeleton. It's all part of like their new, like I guess, like the new program and like how they're going to do like the more quote unquote realistic animatronics. And so far, yeah, the results are definitely not looking good so far. So.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like Disney would have to really try to like convince people otherwise like the projection faces are like something that they really want. But anyways, going back into these announcements that they have done, there's not a lot that I could go and comment in terms of the nighttime shows or the parades and stuff like that. I haven't seen them myself, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. Maybe one day if I go back to Disneyland, I'll see if maybe I could catch those. The Coco ride, however, yeah, I am absolutely hyped up to see what they would do. I also love Coco, and as someone commented, yes, this is specifically going to be in between Pixar Pier and the Paradise Garden Parks. So from there, at least like we got an idea of where they're going to go and place it. But with Coco, however, with the promise that they're going to go and do in terms of how they want to bring it to life, and again, having the same vibe as those classic attractions, like that's something I really want to see, especially with how are they going to go and pull off but you know how they pull off like bringing the movie to life, like not just bringing us back to that period of Mexico, but also to see how they're going to bring how they're going to present like the Land of the Dead. How are they going to bring like those skeletons to life? How are we going to see like the two to, how are we going to see like the mortal characters and the Land of the Dead characters all together? So there's so much that I'm really excited to see on that. So I'm definitely hyped for it. And as for the Tomorrowland update, Yeah, honestly, like I feel like Disney is responding to the big criticism, what's often considered as the Tomorrowland problem, where it constantly needs to be updated because tomorrow always comes. So from there, I want to see with how they're going to do. And I'm hoping that maybe they could find a way to make like some kind of fictionalized tomorrow, because I did hear that they want to go back to how it used to be, like kind of like pay homage to the original Tomorrowland, like when it opens. So I would like to see how they would go and add some kind of timeless aspect to Tomorrowland to help actually solve some of the problems. Now, I know that like what rides are going to be there, that's a whole discussion altogether. That's going to be for like maybe the next D23. But yeah, I think like this is a well-needed update that they should do. And I mean, hot take, I think they should also do the same thing with Disney World's Tomorrowland, because that's also another one that has all those same problems that you have mentioned, and even some areas that they can't do anything with it because now it's just empty. Like the place that used to have extraterrestrial and Stitch's Great Escape, like that's still like empty, and there's nothing that they can really do. Like even if it's something that they got to tear down all those buildings to make something new from the ground up, like so be it. Eventually, like, yeah, like if they could do that to Disneyland, I hope that they could also do the same thing with Disney World as well.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with Magic Kingdom because, oh my God, their version of Space Mountain, it's still rough. Like, they haven't touched those tracks since opening, and that ride definitely needs an update. Like, seriously.
Yeah, even when I went there, like it could feel a little bit rough, but oh boy, it could also be crazy at times. I think like that, like I think like it was in there where I had like the highest pitch that I went into, because like usually at roller coasters I'd be loud. I was like but then there's one dip in there. I don't know what happened. It was like you know, like it was like, oh boy, it was crazier than I expected. But yeah, like
especially since you're in the dark, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, now at this point, we're gonna go and take a break. Yes, we're gonna go and have another pause on this. And when we do come back, then we're gonna go and have the rest of the updates, which coincidentally are all in Walt Disney World. So stay tuned for that. All right, welcome back. So now that we got into more of the Disney Parks announcements, there's actually one more place to go and discuss. And this is probably the area that has received the most updates on D23 more than any other park out there. And that, of course, is in regards to the Magic, not just the Magic Kingdom, but Walt Disney World in general, because oh boy, let's just say there's going to be a great big beautiful tomorrow down in Orlando. And we're going to go and start things off by discussing about what's coming soon at Hollywood Studios, to which they have revealed some new information regarding Monstropolis. Yes, there will be a brand new Monstropolis section that will be happening. And of course, the big attraction that's going to be in there will be the roller coaster that is based on the door scene in Monsters, Inc. But at D23, they now went into more details of what else is going to be going on in Monstropolis, even the whole backstory of what's going to be happening there, in which they stated that in Monstropolis, there's going to be a big human day. To go into specifics here, it's actually an acronym that they have made. Let me just go and see if I could find it. It actually states, where is that? Human. Oh, right here. So they said that Human Day, or human, is an acronym for Humans Understanding Monsters Are Nice. So this is a big moment so that Monstropolis is opening their doors to invite humans onto their world to interact with the monsters. So that's going to be the big thing. And plus the fact that they even have their own HR department, but a little bit more, their HR is going to be different than our HR. But in terms of what you could go and find there, one big thing that they have revealed is going to be the theater in which is going to replace Muppet Vision 3D, called the Glob Theater, to which it will present a show called Welcome to Monstropolis, where Mike and Sully and his friends go and introduce people how things are in Monstropolis with their own little show. And on top of that, they even mention that there's going to be a brand new song written by Randy Newman that is going to be a part of this. On top of that, they have also mentioned about some of the other areas that you could dine and shop, including the Scareporium, in which is going to be the Monstropolis shopping place. There is also going to be the Monsters University Alumni Club, the Monsters University Alumni Club, to which, if I could be wrong, but it does sound like it's going to be the area where you are going to meet the Monsters Inc. characters to have a picture and autograph and stuff like that. There's also going to be Archie's Scare Pig Pizza, in which you could go and buy yourself a pizza if you just want to have like a quick meal during your stay. And also the signature restaurant of the place, Harryhausen's. Yes, this is going to be a major sit-down restaurant, which will even include an animatronic of the chef doing his own thing. So that's pretty much the big thing that they have revealed with Monstropolis. Logan, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Did they also reveal new info about the new big attraction that's going to be in there, or is it just going to be all around in Monstropolis? Is it just like what they talked about that's going to be all around Monstropolis?
They did touch upon the main attraction like a little bit, but it's mostly just like the stuff that's like surrounding the area itself. Okay. And it's funny you mentioned that. So they're going to open this land up in phases. So they're going to open up like the theater and everything else next year, a lot more sooner than expected. But they're going to save the coaster for like another time, like maybe like in 2028. So
really?
Yeah, I was like surprised by that because I would assume they're going to open up the whole land like at once it's like ready. So I'm not sure why they're doing this. Typically, I'm not the biggest fan when they do like phases like that because it seems like I'm sure there's a reason why, but it's just like it kind of gets like a little annoying that you gotta wait a little bit longer for the main attraction to like open. So, but maybe it's do something with the crowd control or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but no, overall, I was skeptical at first about like Metropolis and all that stuff because typically I'm not like the biggest fan of like having like a huge land based off like one film, but it looks really promising, and I'm really intrigued like how they're gonna like execute the whole thing. Like I'm definitely excited for their roller coaster. That thing, it like looks it's gonna be like huge. I will say, Matt, really quick, do you have a fear of like heights or anything?
Well, no, like I'm slowly but surely getting into roller coasters, but I'm not like someone who's like afraid of heights.
The reason why I say that because there's like at the beginning of the ride, like as soon as you like get to your seat, they're immediately gonna like raise you up like so high up. Like it kind of like feels like it's kind of like imitating at first because just like watching like the 3D render they showcase of that. If you are afraid of heights, that would be kind of like you gotta be like kind of cautious about. But other than that, like it looks to be like it's gonna be like a really like awesome like ride, like how they're gonna execute it because. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a ride they've been like tossing around for like years at this point because I know they want to do this kind of like ride system for like years, like ever since like I think like ever since like when the first movie came out, they want to try to do something with it, but now they finally got the opportunity to do so, and I feel like with today's technology, I feel like it's going to be like really cool how they're going to execute it, and I feel like if they were to like close the Monsters Inc. ride in California Adventure, I feel like they might bring some of those animatronics to that ride because it is going to be like a fast roller coaster. So I'm not expecting them to make like high tech animatronics for that ride if you're going to see it for like a brief second. But yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to that. As for like the other stuff they're going to have in that area, in regards to the show, good luck. I'm not sure if people are going to like you because you close, you know. So I'm going to wish you guys the best of luck with that. So
yeah, honestly, yeah, I'm just going to go and say this right now. I'm sure the place is going to look very nice. And there are some things that I am very excited for. I would love to go and check out, like, I would be so down to go and dine at Harryhausen's. And I am looking forward to see what they're going to do with the roller coaster, in which they did say, that apparently they're going to lift you up 40 feet in the air in 4 seconds. So, okay, I understand why you asked that question. I'm sure it's going to look great. But that Glob Theater is honestly the announcement I am excited for the least, because I don't know how I'm going to feel going into that theater and watch a show that's not Muppet Vision 3D. I don't know if I can emotionally handle that. For me, I don't care what it is. I mean, Muppet Vision 3D has always been my favorite Disney ride, but now they're going to replace it with Monsters Inc. Like, I don't know if I could take it. It's just, I feel like, I feel like I'm gonna immediately be pessimistic. It's like, what is this crap? This stupid freaking bullcrap, man. So yeah, no, you're definitely right to say good luck to that show. It better be freaking amazing, because you're going from Jim Henson's Swan Song to whatever Monsters Inc. thing you're gonna go and do. So we're gonna see how the reception is gonna be.
I totally understand. And something I was like thinking, it's like, they could have like done both, like still keep Muppet Vision 3D while also building that Monsters Inc. roller coaster. They just like retheme that whole land to be like, I don't know, like Creature Land or something like that, where you have like the Muppet creatures along with like the monster creatures. Like that could have been perfect right there. But hey, I'm not part of Imagineering, so what did I know? So
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so I know I totally feel your pain, Matt. I definitely miss Muppet Vision, but again, that show's been there for like 30 years, and I feel like I understand why they gotta like get rid of it. But it is sad. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like it is. Yeah, that time for it to go. And I'm so glad the Muppets are still at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, at least, like we still got Rock and Roller Coaster at least.
Yeah, which I heard like really good things about. Like it definitely pays so much homage of Muppet Vision 3D. Not going to say how, but lots of like neat homages to it.
Oh yeah.
And then really quick, in regards to like Harryhausen's, that one I'm really intrigued like to know more about, because I feel like they definitely made it a big deal within the movie itself, so I'm kind of intrigued like how can they like execute the food there. I think it's mostly going to be like Asian food, like sushi and all that stuff, so it'll be cool if they do like themed like sushis and all that stuff. And I kind of was surprised with the animatronic octopus chef. That's going to be really cool. But yeah, overall, like in regards to Monster Inc. Land itself, like, yeah, it's annoying at first when we hear like Muppet Vision being closed, but I feel like it's going to do like a good job, like execution wise and all that stuff. And yeah, I'm definitely intrigued, like how they're going to do everything within that land. My only question now is, will they still keep the lab floor at Magic Kingdom? You know, like, is that really necessary at that point?
Yeah, I guess that is going to be a matter of a wait and see kind of thing. But yeah, I honestly, like, I think this is going to be a weird comment, or probably my weirdest comment on this. Probably the one thing I'm most excited for in Monstropolis is the restaurant.
Oh yeah. No, that restaurant, I feel like I said, like given how much a big deal that was in the movie itself, like it better be. I feel like it's going to be like amazing if you can get reservations, because I'm sure like the reservation system for that, it's going to be a mess.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be crazy. Like, I know that with restaurants, they are so hard to book and they can be very expensive when you are there. But like when you do get the food, when you are there, when you get the food, it is an amazing experience. Like, I'm very fortunate to even got to experience what they did with what's it called again? Earth 220 or something like that.
Oh, the one at Epcot?
Yeah, the one at Epcot. Yeah, the one next to Mission Space.
Yeah, Space Earth. I know what you're talking about. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, Chubble, you can correct me if I mess up the name, but like I went into that restaurant and oh my God, it is fantastic. Space 220. Okay, I was surprisingly close. I got the number. But yeah, nice. No, but I will say, like, I did that, and also Be Our Guest. Also, I did that. I also really liked it. So yeah, no, like honestly, like Yeah, they're expensive, they're hard to book, but when you can be there, like, it is honestly really awesome. All right, but let's go and move on to our next batch of updates. And this time around, we're going to go and discuss about Animal Kingdom, in which Animal Kingdom is going to be getting a good batch of updates of their own. And, well, it might be a bit bittersweet for Disney fans out there because a long-running meme is now coming to a close. It was something that a lot of people had a lot of mileage of. It was enjoyable when they would go and make their little parodies and make their little memes. Well, the trade-off of this is that it's sad we can no longer do this meme, but on the plus side, the Yeti is gonna be fixed. Yes, for several years, the animatronic Yeti in Expedition Everest has just not been working whatsoever. But now they have officially revealed that now the Imagineers are officially on it and they are going to go and fix the Yeti. So now the Yeti will be roaring and moving once again at Expedition Everest. But then afterwards, they went into more details in regards to the upcoming land that's going to be replacing Dinoland USA, the Tropical Americas, to which they revealed some new info regarding the attractions there, including the Encanto ride, which now has a name, which will be Antonio's Fiesta de Encanto. To which in there, of course, you're going to be meeting the entire family, but at the same time, you are going to go in there specifically in the moment when Antonio is about to go and get his gift. To which he would go and actually communicate with the animals, and you are free to be invited to go and check out his room that is just filled with plant life and animal life and all that kind of stuff. So Disney is hard at work to go and bring that attraction to life, as well as inviting many of the original actors to reprise their roles, including Stephanie Beatrice, Jessica Darrow, and Diane Guerrero, to go back and play as Mirabelle, Louisa, and Isabella, respectively. And this is a section they even add, they mentioned that there will be no height requirement for the attraction, so kids of all ages can go in there. And on top of that, they have also discussed about a smaller attraction that will be in there called El Carousel de los Animalitos, in which it's just a little carousel in which you could go and ride hand-carved animals from the Disney movies. Rather it be if you want to go and be on a carousel and ride on Cusco or on Pascal or Bambi or Thumper or Timon with a weirdly large backside, then you could go into the carousel here. And finally, there is another attraction that they went into, which is the Indiana Jones ride. And this one here says to be the most ambitious Indiana Jones ride yet, to which they are calling it Indiana Jones and the Myth of the Jade Serpent, to which not only did they confirm that Harrison Ford himself is officially going to be the model of the Indiana Jones animatronic, but they also promised that there's going to be another giant animatronic of the Jade Serpent itself. So they really are dedicated to make this a more elevated version of what we got in with Dinosaur prior. So Logan, I'd like to know your thoughts with the Animal Kingdom updates.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Well, let me start off with the Yeti, because yes. If you're really big into the Disney theme parks like I am, then you know the history of the Yeti or Disco Yeti, because I could have swore, I might be remembering this wrong, but I could have swore I remember seeing the Yeti actually work. Maybe I was there around like 2007, and I could have sworn I saw them actually like functioning as it was supposed to be. But lately, every time I go to Animal Kingdom, I always have a hunch that's like, maybe I see it functioning, maybe it won't be, but it could be like a weird, like, misremembering all that stuff. But yeah, It's more just like, yeah, I mean, personally, I don't make it a big deal if I don't see the Yeti work because obviously there's a history as to why it's not working. And I know people are like begging Disney to get it fixed and all that stuff. And yeah, there's a really good reason why they haven't because, long story short, they have to like basically demolish the whole, well, parts of the mountain in order for it to like fix it. And yeah, there's people that explain it a lot more better than I can because there's been like video essays about going over why this is just a big deal as to why they're fixing the Yeti, and I am so excited to see it finally fixed. Whether or not they're going to fix the actual animatronic itself, or they're going to build like a brand new one from scratch. Regardless, it's about time that we get to see the Yeti in action once more. So, what do you think, Matt?
Yeah, honestly, it was a long time coming, but I remember when I saw like the update that popped up, I was like really surprised, like, oh my God, they're actually gonna do it. You know, it's one of those things like you keep repeating yourself like again and again, and you see all the jokes that people would go and do, but finally we see them actually go and take action because like as you mentioned, I have heard a lot of talks about how like it would be impossible to go and do so because it would require just rebuilding Expedition Everest from the ground up in order to go and fix that Yeti. Now, how are they going to do so? I think it's a matter of like wait and see, but hopefully this time around, now that they are going to go and fix the Yeti, hopefully they'll do so in a way where, you know, at least like if it needs repairs again, it could actually be easily manageable where just they could do a few things and it'll be fine without interrupting the entire structure of it. So that's honestly something that, you know, it feels like really nice to hear. And it's like one of those things that, you know, it's one of those where it does feel like, wow, Disney actually does listen to the fans. Like now they're delivering on what people like on what people want to see, which in this case is a fixed Yeti.
Yeah, and they do acknowledge the jokes that are being made and all that stuff because, yeah, you mentioned you didn't see the live presentation of the show itself, but during like the opening song, they definitely do make jokes of like not only like Disco Yeti, but also like they also made a jab of the Olaf animatronic falling over at that one point. So yeah, they're self-aware, so okay, that's what I love about them. So in regards to the tropical Americas, what I'm going to say will be a hot take to some, but this is going to be far superior than Dinosaur Land. I'm just going to say it. Everything I see about this land is going to be far more superior. And I know there are some people complaining like, oh, why they got to close down Dinosaur? Dinosaur is perfect. Everything about Dinosaur. Why they got to close it, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, with that land, the only good thing about that land was Dinosaur itself, like the main ride. Everything else was garbage. Like people are seriously missing that parking lot. Like, come on. Like, seriously. Like, Primeval World, like, seriously, people are missing that ride? Like, I don't get it. But no, this is going to be, like, from what I've heard about Tropical, this is what I like to see out of, like, the new lands. It's like, it's not, I mentioned before, like, I'm not a big fan of, like, one film IP lands. This is what I want to see more often, where it's like it's not just like one film, but like multiple films. In this case, Encanto and Indiana Jones, and I like to see more of that because you get like more variety out of it, as opposed to just like you're just stuck to like this like one IP. And yeah, this definitely feels like something that it would be fitting for Animal Kingdom, or not? Animal Kingdom. Yeah. Really quick, I want to talk about the carousel really quick. That looks to be like a cute ride. Everybody's making fun of the Timon one because it definitely does look like he has like a big ass. I'm not sure if you heard like the people making fun of like that.
I've seen Timon. The memes. I've seen all the gags. Yeah. In fact, I want to see if I could go and find it actually, like to give people. Hold on, Timon. Here, Timon Carousel. I want to see like if there is like a picture that you could. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, here's an idea of what people have with it. It's just Timon with like an extra rump on the back.
Yeah, it's like some of them just look so awkward to sit on. Like some of them are like understandable, but others like Timon, Miko, Scuttle, like those ones feel a bit awkward, you know?
Yeah, there are some like, okay, I get it, they're the popular choices, but they do look a little bit weird, I will say.
They do, yeah.
Like, okay, I get like something like like Bambi, for example, but then like when you do add like Miko or when you add like Timon, there are some ideas that I don't know, they don't make sense, or they kind of feel a little bit forced per se. Like this might be like, honestly, this might be a hot take for me, but like honestly, I would rather just replace Timon and just throw in like Valentino from Wish or something like that. Like,
oh, that dumbass goat.
It honestly would make more sense than freaking Timon right there.
That would make sense, yeah.
At least he has the right anatomy for that kind of like carousel ride.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. Yeah, that will definitely make a lot more sense. And yeah, overall, like some of the character choices are a bit odd. Honestly, the only one that got a reaction out of me is seeing Cusco out of that group, because he's that one got choked on me because he's more human than a llama, but still, it's funny. But anyways, yeah. So the carousel looks cute. In regards to the other rides, Encanto, that one looks to be like it's good. Disney said like it's one of their more like advanced like technology based rides, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. There are some people that are complaining that there's no conflict. Where's the conflict in the ride? And it's like, not every ride needs to have like a conflict. It can be just like a fun, like just witnessing, like seeing like cool effects happening and whatnot. I mean, the Frozen ride at Epcot, that didn't have any conflict, and yet the execution for that one is pretty cool. So it's like,
yeah, and not to mention, like, it's hard to even, like, there's not a lot of, like, Disney rides that even have conflicts in the first place. Someone also brought up Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but even when you look into the classics, like Pirates of the Caribbean or The Mansion, there's not really much conflict in there as well. I mean, technically, with the scenarios in the ride, there are conflicts, but there's no like linear story where like you're in the middle of some kind of conflict going on. So in that regards, it's like, I don't see why like that would be that big of a deal.
Exactly. And you got to think of it this way. Like, this is a ride for like fans of Encanto, which are going to be kids. So it's like, I mean, I like the film personally, but it's not like in my top, like, it's not one of my personal favorites out of Disney, but it's still like enjoyable film. So yeah, I'm for the main thing for me is like, as long as the ride is well executed, that's all I really care about. If it puts like a smile on my face, like that's all that really matters. So I'm definitely intrigued what they're going to do with that. Same with Indiana Jones. Like, I definitely enjoyed the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland. That's definitely a fun ride. But to see like them do like a more like update take of like that kind of like ride system, I mean, everybody knows that Dinosaur, the ride it's the same ride track same ride system as Indiana Jones. But I feel like this one is going to be better executed, is because I feel like with how the ride in Disneyland is, like, I feel it's going to be like 10 times more, especially since they did showcase pictures of, like, what that snake animatronic is going to be like. That thing is going to be big. Like, I'm not sure it's going to be as big I mean, maybe it could be bigger than like the dinosaur animatronics, not gonna lie. From the pictures that I've seen. Yeah, just like from like the model and like some of the behind the scene photos. Like, it looks gonna be like it's gonna be impressive. The one thing I'm kind of like on the fence about is like using the older Indiana Jones look, like the old Harrison Ford look of him. That part I'm not too sure about, because given like the reception of like the recent films of Indiana Jones, specifically like the Dial of Destiny and the Crystal Skull, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. Again, it's all an execution of like how the ride's going to be. That part is like I'm kind of on the fence about, but overall, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Tropical Americas in general. Like I said, like, it's definitely like I want to see more lands like that, where it's like more based on like different IPs. That's why I love Fantasy Springs and Tokyo Disney Sea. It's not just like one; it's like 3 films: Peter Pan, Frozen, and Tangled, and each one is well executed. So, and just Side tangent. Fantasy Springs, one of the best lands ever in any of the
Yeah.
Disney parks. I could be in that land for like hours.
Oh yeah, no, as someone who's been there also, I can concur. Now, I do have my thoughts that I want to share with the Tropical Americas, but we're going to go and take a break right now. And when we do come back, we will go more into detail about our thoughts on Tropical Americas, as well as the rest of the Disney World announcements. So stay tuned for that. Welcome back. Now, to go and express my opinion on what we've just talked about with Tokyo Disney, not Tokyo, sorry, we were talking about in between that, but I mean, to go back into the Tropical Americas, I definitely do agree with you with what you have mentioned with the theming of the land, that they actually, you know, that it's not like specifically based on one movie or whatever, but especially, and this might be a hot take as well, but I feel like it's probably for the best that we get rid of Dino Land USA, especially to stay true with the new theme of Animal Kingdom. Because the thing is, Dino Land USA was a product of what Animal Kingdom used to be. That was with the previous idea that they had, where they wanted to honor all different types of animals, not just the ones in our planet, but also the ones in the past, and also the mythological ones back when they still had Beastly Kingdom in mind. But Beastly Kingdom never happened, and then we were just left with Dino Land USA, which was more or less like its own thing, where the real thing of interest, or like debatably the only thing of interest, was just the dinosaur ride, which kind of has a connection to the 2000 movie. But now with the update of Tropical Americas, I feel like it makes more sense, especially thematically, in especially when it comes to the theming of Animal Kingdom in general, where they have like different areas that are based on different continents. Like you got an Asia section, you got an Africa section, and all that kind of stuff. And now we can have a section based on the Americas, which that to me feels like makes a lot more sense, and it feels like it really makes the entirety of Animal Kingdom feel a bit more connected. Which, yeah, sure, there's also a Pandora section that kind of feels like a bit random, but at least like when it comes to the other areas, it makes more sense. And when it comes to the rides that they have announced there, yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what they have in store. Believe it or not, I have yet to have a chance to go into a legit Indiana Jones ride. I mean, sure, I've seen Epic Stunt Spectacular a bunch of times before, but I've never really had the chance to go into an actual Indiana Jones ride. So I'm really curious to what they have in store with the Myth of the Jade Serpent. And also, I mean, I love Encanto, such a phenomenal movie. So I'm excited to see how they're going to go and turn that into a ride. So I'm also going to be very excited for that.
Oh yeah, and also if you guys need your dinosaur fix, just go to Universal Studios. It's not that far.
Yeah, that is true. All right, so with that said, now it is time we're going to jump onto the Magic Kingdom announcements. Okay, yeah, we don't need this Timon anymore. Yes, we got some Magic Kingdom announcements to go into. And the first one to go and talk about is actually a big update to a classic attraction, which is Carousel of Progress. Now, they did mention before that they're going to go and completely reboot the entire attraction, but now we actually got more details into what is in store. And one big change is in regards to the voices, where now the mom is going to be voiced by Jamie Lee Curtis, and the dad is going to be voiced by Bryan Cranston. And on top of that, they have also revealed the new time periods that are going to be in store with this version of Carousel of Progress. Now, yes, it is true that at the start of the attraction, it will begin with a discussion with an animatronic Walt Disney, where he's going to go and lecture you about how progress is and all that kind of stuff. But then afterwards, once you get into the actual show, they revealed that the first act is going to be based on the 1960s. Then after that, or specifically in the summer of 1969, And then afterwards, we're going to be going into the 1980s in the second act, which will be set on Halloween night of 1985. Then afterwards, in Act 3, we got the new millennium, as the family are going to be celebrating New Year's once it reaches the year 2000. And then Act 4, of course, is going to be the possible future. So we got all that's going to be going on, which I believe they stated that it's going to be opening kind of soon, actually, to which it's going to be opening up in the spring of 2027. But then afterwards, they also discuss about the 2 new lands that are going to be happening. First and foremost, there is going to be the new Cars land that's going to be opening up, which is going to be Piston Peak, to which there will be 2 new attractions that are going to be featured. First is going to be Miss Fritter's Daredevil Spin-Along, which will be based on the Demolition Derby scene in Cars 3. So you got that little spinny ride going on. And then you got the main attraction, which is Cars Ridge Run Rally, to which it will be another racing ride, similar to Radiator Springs Racers, except you are going to be going through a variety of different terrain as we get comments from Lightning McQueen and Mater. And on top of that, Disney also promised that even though it's going to be in a weird spot, they do promise that with Piston Peak, even though this is a Cars-themed area, it will make sense on where it is placed. It will have a connection to rides like Tiana's Bayou Adventure, to Big Thunder Mountain, and to different lands like Frontierland and also Liberty Square, since that's all around in the same place. But one of the most hyped up announcements at this entire panel is going to be in regards to the new info that we got with Villains Land. Yes, we got some new info on what's going to be happening and what's going to be in store with this Villains Land. Even a little bit of a story in which it does say that an evil wish poisoned the wishing well. And just after, wow, the text is actually a lot smaller than I thought. It tainted the magic, its tainted magic seeped forth, twisting the land into a dark forest. So you could see here where the wishing well cracked and you see all the evil that's just spewing out. But in terms of the attractions that are going to be in there, first and foremost, we got a Maleficent roller coaster that's going to be happening. So yes, you are going to go on a roller coaster to go and face the mistress of evil herself, Maleficent. And as for all the other villains, they're going to have their own attraction, or specifically, they are going to go and show up in the Magic Mirrors ride, in which is going to be called the Mirror Realm, or at least that's what the theme is. Now, to go into details onto that, it states here that you'll find the magic mirror where the evil queen keeps him in the catacombs beneath her pristine palace. After making your way to him, he'll magically transport you into his mystical mirror realm to see things on the other side of the mirror. There in his ethereal realm, you'll be transfixed by countless of Disney villains conjured in ways only the magic mirror can do. A combination of special effects and physical set pieces will bring his mirror realm and these iconic villains to life. All right, and I don't know if we have a release date onto when these are going to be happening, but we know that they are going to be happening. So Logan, what are your thoughts on these?
All right, so Carousel of Progress, hype. I'm hyped for that. Definitely, like, when it comes to like the Magic Kingdom, Carousel of Progress is one of my personal favorites attractions there, because it's just like a classic attraction. And like, I mean, it's not often to see like original base IPs or original park characters like that still like being relevant within like the parks themselves, but it's still really cool. And is it corny? Yeah, it can be, but at the same time, it's like, it just shows like how like classic of an attraction can be, especially since this is like one of those like attractions that Walt himself like had hands-on on, and it definitely shows. And Yeah, there's really not much to really say about it. I mean, I'm definitely a big fan. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, I know there's like some people are upset that the original show is like going to be gone, but I mean, the show is called the Carousel of Progress. Progress has to be made. So, yeah, no, I'm definitely hyped for it. So, what do you think, Matt?
Nah, honestly, I am optimistically curious to see. I do agree with you where honestly, I feel like yeah, that attraction does need to be updated, especially when like there's just, most of the acts are now like set in the way further past because like there's one thing to keep like the original vision of it, but still though, even this recent version that they've had for a while does feel pretty dated. So it does feel like it is necessary to get an update. And I am very curious to see how Jamie Lee Curtis and Bryan Cranston are going to go and pull it off. Like they really went all out with the voice acting to get some big to get some big actors onto this. So I can't wait to see what they have in store with that.
Oh yeah, same here. No, I'm definitely liking the casting choices for that too. Oh, and also another thing too. Yeah, those animatronics, they're rough. They have been so rough for
Yeah.
like years. There's been like compilation videos like the top 10 fails of the Carousel of Progress animatronics. So yeah, it's definitely due for an update.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. In regards to the Cars land, which it's kind of a stretch to call it a land, it's more like a section than anything. But anyways, I know a lot of people are still upset about like the Rivers of America closing and all that stuff to be replaced with Cars of all things. And like I said before, the Disney parks, they definitely need more rides. They need seriously more rides. Even as like just sacrificing stuff that's like are not like crowd eaters. Like this is definitely a good choice on them. And if you still want to have that experience with like the rivers and all that stuff, you can still go to Disneyland and experience all that. And I feel like their version is far superior than the one in Florida. But anyways, no, I'm definitely intrigued what they're gonna do with this because just like seeing like the models and like the concept art, like for as somebody that's not really big into like the Cars franchise, I feel like this could be one of the more beautiful looking sections of like the Magic Kingdom, which like how they're gonna do like the sceneries, like with the forest, the mountains, and just like everything. Because lately when it comes to like me with like the Disney parks, yeah, the rides are cool and all that stuff. But the big thing for me that I like do the most lately is just like taking everything in. Where I just love it more if I'm just like walking from point A to point B, just like taking everything in, whether it be just be like the environment, the smells of like the areas, seeing everybody like happy and all that stuff. Like it's just the vibes I really love the most when it comes to Disney parks. And I definitely especially love it the most when it comes to, like the Asia parks that I was just at not too long ago. And so, yeah, in regards to the rides themselves within like the Cars section itself, I mean, they look really cool. Like I'm definitely intrigued what they're going to do with like the main ride itself because I heard they're going to do it's not going to be how it is in like in California. It's going to be like its own unique take of the Cars ride itself. The other ride, I mean, it's a nice flat ride. There's really not much I can really say about that, other than that what's the bus's name again? Miss Fritter or
Yeah, Miss Fritters, yeah.
yeah. I'm intrigued how they're going to do that animatronic, and I heard like they had like rain in mind in regards to the attraction because all of this is going to be outdoors.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of curious like how they're going to like handle like the animatronics because that's like the one thing I'm really concerned like how they're going to do like like outdoor animatronics. I'm always like it's cool, but I'm also really concerning about because you got to think about like the weather and all that stuff. And off topic, we all know what happened with Rapunzel animatronic at Tokyo Disneyland with those crows. So that part is like, I'm curious to see how they're going to execute that, especially in Florida because it rains a lot in Florida. So I'm just curious to know how they're going to like. I'm sure. I mean, they're cars, so I'm sure they're going to have like some kind of like weatherproof like some kind of like shield or something like that in regards to like the Cars animatronics. So. But yeah, overall, yeah, I'm definitely intrigued what they're going to do with this section. Yeah, no, it's for the best. They added more stuff that like eat up crowds. So
No, I understand. Like even with Cars, I'm not the biggest Cars fan either, but I did enjoy I did enjoy the Cars Land in California, like especially Radiator Springs Racers. That's like me and my that's among me and my family's favorite rides that we went to during that trip. So having a Florida version of it sounds like it's going to be, it sounds like it's going to be pretty fun, but considering that everything is going to be outdoors, it is going to be a concern how weather is going to be, especially like when it rains in Orlando, it rains hard as hell. So I can imagine how it could, like, I can imagine the freak out that could happen when, when you have to be evacuated, when it's going to be raining, especially like when you're in like the main Cars ride. That's going to be a lot. So I am curious to see how Disney is going to handle it, especially if they are also going to have outdoor animatronics. I think it's a matter that we'll have to wait and see with how things are going to go with that. Like, oddly enough, it's not going to be like I'm sure like the theming they're going to nail it very well. The animatronics are going to be very cool, but how it's going to go against the weather, that's going to be another story.
Yeah. Also, side note, I do appreciate that one character that's based off the Ranger from the old Donald Duck cartoons.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious to know how they're going to do them, because any reference to like the classics, I appreciate.
Yeah, I wonder if we're also going to get a Humphrey car.
Oh man, that would be even more awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they do have car animal hybrid things in this attraction, which that part seems kind of weird to me. Like the animal, how they do the animals in the Cars world, always kind of like it's kind of weird. Not gonna lie.
I don't know. It's best not to think about it too much.
Exactly. Yeah. But now, Villains Land. Holy crap. Out of all the lands, this is definitely up there, like my most hype land ever. And this is going back to what I said about the Tropical Americas. Like, it's not just based on like one IP. It's like, in this case, like a whole bunch of them, because you got to deal with like all the villains from each of the animated films. And let me just start off by saying, thank God that rumor is false, because I'm sure you're aware about that rumor that people are spreading, like, oh, there's going to be like a Yzma roller coaster.
Oh, yeah, that thing, yeah.
Yeah. No, like a Yzma kiddie roller coaster. There's going to be like an Ursula spinner ride. Wow. I don't even know how that rumor came to be, because when I first heard about that, I did not believe it whatsoever, because that just sounds like bullcrap to me.
Yeah, it was I remember it was a Wrap article. It was an article from the Wrap that would go into details about like what's going on with that. But yeah, it looks like it looks like it's a lot more true to like the original idea that Disney has announced in the first place.
Exactly, yeah. And I just love like not to say that a Yzma roller coaster is a bad idea, just not for the Villains Land whatsoever. But no, the rides they do have to offer for this, incredible. Like a Maleficent roller coaster, that totally makes sense. And think of it this way, they're going to build a modern roller coaster based off a film from the 1950s. That alone, it's like, wow, that is... Universal will never do something like that in their parks.
Well,
I'll say that.
To be fair, I mean, I'm not that surprised, because we technically already got a roller coaster based on Snow White. So they've done crazier things.
That is true. So yeah, again, like I mentioned before, I love it when they base like model rides based on the classics. So curious to see how they're going to do that execution, especially if they're going to bring like Dragon Maleficent into all this. Like, would it be in the levels of Murphy? We'll see. I doubt it, but that'll be cool though. But
well, I mean, it's going to be the whole thing with like if they would do like a giant Maleficent dragon for that ride, at least that one is going to be indoors, so it'll be like better. It'll be like better preserved. It'll be more protected than the one in Fantasmic.
Exactly, yeah. And as for that Magic Mirror ride, like that one, I'm definitely more intrigued how they're going to do that one, because the way I'm kind of like envisioning it is like, I feel like if they can bring like all the Disney villains into that ride, specifically the ones from the animation canon, because I doubt they're going to bring in like Pixar or yeah, all that stuff. But no, if they can bring like every single villain from all those films, that would be amazing. Like
Yeah.
even if it's going to be like if some are going to be like animatronics or some are going to be like on screens or on portraits or whatnot, if they're all represented one way or another, like that would be chef's kiss to me. But well, I mean, obviously they're going to do the more popular ones as animatronics, like Jafar, Captain Hook, Evil Queen, all that stuff. So there's no denying that. But I mean, if they were to like bring in like characters like the Horn King or Honest John and Gideon or Madame Medusa, like the more like obscure ones, that would be awesome. So
no, what I'm expecting honestly is if they would go and do a like what I'm expecting is maybe if they would do just a dark, kind of like a dark ride version of what we got right now with the villain show in Hollywood Studios, because like that's technically the Magic Mirror show right there. Like if they could go and do that, but like hopefully they'll stay like with a more darker tone. Like hopefully like if they could take, you know, if they could go into like the darker aspect instead of like the more family friendly kind that we got into the show, that would be awesome.
Yeah, and I especially love how they have like the Magic Mirror himself be like not like the leader of the villains, but more just like the main guy you're following throughout this whole experience.
Yeah, you're the host basically. The Magic Mirror is basically going to take a similar role to like the ghost host in the mansion.
Exactly, yeah. So, yeah, overall, yeah, Villains Land, I'm definitely super hyped for. And yeah, no other words to say, but just like hype. I'm just excited for it. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, because they didn't really specify when that's going to open up. I'm probably going to guess like, won't be for like a good while, like maybe like 2029, maybe even 2030. But again, we'll see what happens. I mean, they did surprise us with like Monsters Inc. Lane opening much more sooner than expected, so only time will tell.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, like I've mentioned this before, but me and my family, we have been in talks about the next time we go back to Disney World will be when Villains Land is going to open up. So that's one of the most anticipated things for me in terms of the Disney parks there. So yeah, I am absolutely hyped to see what they have in store with that. And we got one more piece of announcement that we would like to go and discuss about, just a few little quick things. And that is in regards to what's going to be in store with Epcot. And with Epcot, they have revealed that there's going to be a new updated version of Spaceship Earth, to which I believe they said that now there's going to be, I think they're going to do something similar to what they did with Carousel of Progress, where they're just completely rebooting the entire attraction. They're going to be updating the story. They're going to be adding in new animatronics and stuff like that, but still stay true to the spirit of Epcot. And finally, the last announcement that they have made. Now, I'm just going to go and say this. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what the plan is, but all they said at the end is that Figment from Journey into Imagination is going to be reunited with the Dreamfinder. Now, again, we don't know if it's going to be for like a whole new ride, if it's going to be for a whole new update of Journey into Imagination, but they did confirm that Dreamfinder is coming back. Logan, any thoughts on any of those two rides?
In regards to Spaceship Earth, that ride definitely needed an update because the last one they had was like back in 2007. And honestly, like it's not like a bad ride. Like I definitely enjoyed it for the most part. I'll admit, the last time I was on that ride, I accidentally took like a nap on it. But anyway, not to say it was boring. It was just like a long day. But no, it definitely needed like an update, especially with like the touchscreens on the ride vehicles themselves. Like that part it's definitely dated because like with like the goofy like faces on top of like the cartoon bodies. It's like I was not a fan of that whatsoever. But no, I'm definitely glad it's been overdue. I know they mentioned it before in the past. They want to update this ride, but again, with COVID, that plan didn't go to plan. And yeah, with this one, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it. But Yeah, Space Reserve, that's all cool and fun. Figment, wow, they did it. They're finally doing it. Or at least they're doing something with Figment because again, with the Disco Yeti, with Tomorrowland, Disneyland, if you're big into the theme parks, you know how much of a big deal this is for theme park fans because oh my god. Okay, here's the thing. I'll admit, I didn't grow up with the original Journey of Imagination ride. I was only familiar with the ones that's currently at Epcot. And yeah, from what I've been told about like the original ride itself, I heard it's like a very magical ride and like how well executed it is with like the imagination and all that stuff, and especially with like Dreamfinder and Figment and all that stuff. And honestly, I didn't think like the ride currently at Epcot is like the worst thing ever. I know a lot of people hate that version, but I mean, I'm glad that Figment's like there and all that stuff. He didn't annoy me as much compared to like how people didn't like his character, the character version of him in that ride. But honestly, with how hyped people are with like Figment himself, like he's a beloved character for a reason. Like he's like one of the more popular OG Disney park characters that's still relevant to this day that people really do care. I mean, he's up there with like the Orange Bird and the Haunted Mansion and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, so I'm definitely it's because like the fan reactions towards Figment itself that made me become like a fan of Figment because it's like he's just like one of those like one of the kind of characters that is like people wish that would have been done with him and Dreamfinder. And I know like people have been hoping every year, every D23, people are like wishing, begging for them to do something with Figment. And I try to keep that expectation like low because I just know like going into this, I was like, they're not going to do anything with Figment. I'm sure it's going to be like another year pass. It's going to be like, yeah, people are hoping for something new with Figment, but it's never going to happen. And I was proven wrong. They are definitely doing something new with Figment. Like I said, I don't know, not sure what they're going to do with it exactly, but hey, I'm just excited something new is going to be happening with those two classic characters.
Oh, yeah. Now, I just want to let you know, people, of course, I definitely have my thoughts, but we're going to go and take a little break before I get into that little piece. So we will be right back. And then I will tell you about my side, about how I feel about the big comeback of Dreamfinder. And we are back. Now, let me go and tell you about what I think about the Epcot announcements. And I think when it comes to both of them, with Journey into Imagination and with Spaceship Earth, it's kind of like with my thoughts on Carousel of Progress. I think with both of them, they absolutely need an update. And especially with Spaceship Earth, I'll go and say that now. I mean, it's a nice ride. It's, it's great, but yeah, you could tell that it needs a little bit of an update, like especially like a bit of a redo, like with the animatronics, they definitely need a polish. And there are some aspects where it does feel dated and sometimes weird, like especially with the camera thing, like especially like to go and take your picture, like to go and present this like fun little interactive thing. Like honestly, nah, it doesn't work out. And plus the fact that like you don't know where the camera is in the first place, so your picture always ends up looking weird. Like I think the last time it was just me like looking down, like because I don't know where the camera is, so it's just like, oh, here's you in the future, and meanwhile it's just me like looking like this. So it's always, so yeah, honestly, like that's one thing that they definitely need to remove. But yeah, I think Spaceship Earth definitely needs a well-needed update. Now, the comeback of Dreamfinder, though, holy crap. I think it's like, I think there is a bit of a pattern where there are some things in the announcements where it's like, holy crap, they finally did it. And I think like the return of Dreamfinder has always been one of the most requested things from Disney fans for like so many years.
Like the most requested.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially with the fact that we're right now with Journey into Imagination with Figment. It's not a bad ride, but it's just like, it like we tolerate it because it's like a slightly improved version from the piece of crap that we've had before. So in that regards, like I feel like there are better ways to go and represent Figment. And now hearing about like they're going to bring back Dreamfinder in an official way. Yeah, I'm absolutely hyped up. And I'm honestly very curious about what is it that they're going to do, though? Because it was only a small reveal where Neil Patrick Harris just walks in and he just dresses up like Dreamfinder, and that's all. Now, what are they going to do? That I want to know. Like, are they going to go and completely reboot Journey into Imagination? Do like with Space Mountain, and they're going to do Space Mountain in Paris, and they're going to bring back the ride to how it was originally? Or are they going to do like a brand new version of it? That I don't know. But the fact that we're seeing Dreamfinder come back, that is absolutely exciting. And I think it's honestly inevitable because like when it comes to these fan favorite characters, they eventually make a strong comeback somehow. I mean, like if Disney was able to bring back the Hatbox Ghost, then I think it was inevitable that they would bring back the Dreamfinder in some way, especially when Disney is very well aware of the fanfare behind Dreamfinder, and especially with all the love that they have been giving to Figment. Honestly, I can't wait to see with what they're going to do. Like maybe it's going to be an announcement that they'll save for the next D23, but yeah, that's like as a longtime Figment fan and as someone who dreams to one day like voice Figment, that is that's something I'm really looking forward to see what Disney has in store with that.
Oh yeah, and also really quick in regards to like when you mentioned about like what the ride could be, I feel like if it was going to be like the reboot of the original classic, I feel like it would be like a more condensed version of that, because from what I remember hearing about, they took out like parts of the section away from what it used to be. Like the one currently is like they took out like majority of the tracks from the original version in order to make room for like, I guess like the innovation section or whatnot. But it's definitely going to be like a more like condensed version of the original. But or it could do something completely different. It's hard to really say. And I actually do, and I'm definitely it really shows that Disney really does care about their original park characters, because not too long ago they just like got the Country Bear Jamboree a refresh with like brand new animatronics and all that stuff. So it shows that they do care about the original park characters. Same with the Hatbox Ghost. So yeah, no, I'm definitely hyped for what they're going to do with it. Not much else to really say about it other than if they can make like a ride based off the Orange Bird, even if it's like a small one, that would absolutely even as you can tell, it will be leaving speechless.
I don't know. Give him a cameo in Tiki Room or something like that.
Oh yeah, even better. Yeah,
they could do that. So, just wondering, what out of all the announcement at the theme parks, which one would you say is your favorite? Or which ones are you the most hyped up for?
Man, definitely Villain's Land. That's like the one I'm definitely hyped for. Figment was a nice surprise. I was not expecting that. Yeah, I would say the main one will have to be Villain's Land. I'm definitely intrigued what they're going to do with that whole land itself and just like the execution and everything. And yeah, don't get me wrong, I love everything they announced. Really quick, top three. Third place, Coco. Second, Figment was a nice surprise. Number one, Villain's Land. So yeah.
All right, I gotcha. I think for me, I mean, of course, Dreamfinder's comeback is definitely right up there. Villain's Land, absolutely, I am excited for. But I will say, like, some of the others, like, I'm also very optimistic to see what's in store with the Coco Ride, the Tropical Americas, and Carousel of Progress. I think those are my top ones.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, so with that said, now I want to go and ask you all people, what are your highlights of all the theme park announcements that they have made? Let me know what you all think. Let's see.
Sorry, chat. Sorry, Chad. This is what happens when you're like the biggest theme park fan. You just go on for like hours about these kind of things.
Yeah, and it's not every day that we get to talk to people about the Disney park. So, I mean, this is what happens.
Yeah.
All right. But anyways, there are definitely some cool announcements. For me, I'm most excited for Avengers Infinity Defense, the updated Tomorrowland, the return of the original Space Mountain in Paris, the Yeti being fixed, Dreamfinder coming back, and Villains Land. And one highlight from the panel was Glenn Close dressed up and acting like Cruella de Vil, just like she did in the live-action remake of 101 Dalmatians from the 1990s. Oh, yeah, I did see clips of that also.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise.
Oh, yeah, very cute, very fun. So let me unleash my lightning round. Space Mountain being turned into its French version. If it can save the French one, then I welcome it in other areas. A Lion King ride, about time. Tomorrowland update, finally. It needed a facelift. Monsters Inc. and that new theater. Good luck with that, all I'm saying. The Disco Yeti getting fixed. Finally, Villains ride sounds like an evil dream. The return of Figment. Oh, yes. Well, technically the return of Dreamfinder. Oh, yes. Overall, good announcements. And I'm even... And if I'm ever in the area, I'll swing by and see. All right. So far, I'm very intrigued by the theme park announcements. As a Tomorrowland fan, I'm very glad for the Space Mountain news, from the Earth to the Moon especially, plus some of the others such as the Lion King and Sugar Rush Edition sound cool. I'm surprised the Wreck-It Ralph attraction hasn't been done earlier, as I stated before, and as for the other parks, I'm really most excited for Journey into Imagination's return to form. All right.
It's funny about, sorry, really quick. In regards to Wreck-It Ralph, I guess at one point there was like a rumor saying like that was supposed to replace Stitch's Great Escape, but nothing really came out to be, or I'm not sure if that even was true or not. So, I mean, hey, I'm glad the Wreck-It Ralph ride is being made regardless. So.
Yeah. Let's see. I was originally going to visit the parks this year, but couldn't due to a family tragedy. So in terms of what I'm in store for next time I visit, I'm surprised it took this long for them to do a Wreck-It Ralph ride. Infinity Defense sounds amazing. The Villains Land looks really cool, and Monstropolis looks sick as hell, especially with the Harryhausens. I'm not a sushi guy, but I'm gonna give it an old college try regardless. Also, Disco Yeti is dead. Do an order of Scare Pig pizza for dinner. All right. These theme park news at D23 are amazing. I like that Shanghai Disney Resort with their Spider-Man themed land. That Stark Flight Lab looks cool, and they're bringing back Anthony Mackie to reprise his role as Captain America for the attraction. And one final thing for all of the Disney parks with Disney is finally fixing the Expedition Everest Yeti, and it's coming back. All right. Let's see what else we got. Any other comments to go and read? Just to see. All right. Oh, I didn't do that one. Out of all the park rides, the Monstropolis one is the one I am interested in since I'm a fan of Monsters, Inc. And I'm also hoping that if it works out, we could get a ride based on Mike's brand new car in the future. Or we could have a show where they perform Put That Thing Back Where It Came From or So Help Me. As for everything else, I'm cautiously curious to see how this works out, especially with how they're going to fix the Yeti and what their new plan is with Figment and Dreamfinder.
Wait. Put that thing back where it came. That would have been that would have been perfect. Come on.
Yeah, that's true.
I would honestly watch that more than whatever is that got announced. So, but that's a smart idea. Man, I don't know. I didn't think
it would still be a downgrade for me, but I would be down to go back into that theater and actually see that production of Put That Thing Back Where It Came From or So Help Me.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
All right, let's see. So far with these announcements, I just don't know what sounds more exciting, like the Lion King one, like a movie ride version of Splash Mountain. Vanellope's is like a candy theme Autotopia, and the rest, like the Marvel and Pixar ride, seems exciting and does show some potential to be upon. It's a lot to unwind, but it does show some excitement, except the Monsters, Inc. theater. I'm sorry, but it'd be like walking around a hollow shell from its former glory. Also, Glenn's Close being Cruella de Vil. All right. Yeah. All right. I think there's one more I could go and read. The ones I'm looking forward to is the one from Epcot. They're going to refurbish Spaceship Earth. They are finally going to add characters from Journey into Imagination and the Lion King ride at Paris. But the biggest one for me is at Disneyland getting a new Tomorrowland that it hasn't been done since 1998. Seriously. They need an upgrade, but what is my concern is what's going to happen to the People Mover since that has been sitting down for decades. I think like it's safe to say they're going to bring back they're going to bring back People Mover for there.
I feel like they have to, because that thing, it's like it's so, I heard like it's going to be really expensive to replace the tracks now because it's like so damaged for like the weather and all that stuff. But even if they were to like take the whole thing down, that would also be very expensive because you got to think about like that ride also affecting like Space Mountain and Star Tours, and I think Buzz Lightyear is it's going to be expensive regardless. So we'll have to wait and see. It'll be nice if they were to bring back the People Mover.
I mean, if they're going to do an entire refurbishment of Tomorrowland, you might as well also include that. If you're going to rebuild Tomorrowland from the ground up, might as well also throw in People Mover.
Yeah, I mean, some people are going to be happy. I mean, a lot of people are going to be happy with that, but so yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, now we got one more thing to go and do. So we're going to go into another break. And when we do come back, yes, after all this time, now we are going to talk about the animation announcements at D23. So stay tuned for that. And now, everyone, it is time that we shall finally get into the grand finale. And yes, I did save the best for last, to which we are going to look into the animated announcements at this year's D23. So I think without further ado, Logan, we're going to go and jump straight into it. And we're going to go and talk about one that I know that you and I are very excited for, in which it's going to be the Oswald miniseries. Yes, Jon Favreau took the stage, and for once, he didn't talk about anything Star Wars, but rather, well, of course, he did discuss a little bit about his National Geographic documentary, Lion, but also he did go into detail about his miniseries based on Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, which is just going to be a small 3-part series, but he did provide a little bit of a clip of what's going to be in store, showing Oswald as he walks around the offices at Disney and then stumbles upon Walt Disney's office, in which by the way, just on a side note, it has been confirmed that Oswald himself is going to be hand-drawn animated at SPA Studios, which is the same studio that brought us the Netflix holiday movie Klaus, to which that is going to be coming out on February 2027. So with that said, Logan, I know you're definitely hyped up for this, so I'd like to know what you think.
So yeah, out of all the announcements they made in regards to like the movies, shows, and whatnot, this is the one I'm definitely hype up the most. And the main reason for that is because I don't think I mentioned this before in the podcast or whatnot, but Oswald is like my all-time favorite Disney character, hands down. I mean, yeah, Mickey Mouse is also one of my favorites too, but I feel like when I tell people like who's my favorite character is, I immediately go with Mickey. Mainly because like when I tell people like my favorite is Oswald, they'll look at me like, who the hell is Oswald? And I have to go into like this long like speech about like who Oswald is and all that stuff. But no, Oswald is definitely one of my all-time favorites, mainly because he is the OG Mickey Mouse, like whether it be intentional or not, but he is like the one. And I feel like he is like a lot more funnier and a bit more of like a character than Mickey Mouse. Not to say that Mickey Mouse has like a bad personality or whatnot, but I feel like you can do a lot more with Oswald than Mickey Mouse himself. And yeah, I'm glad. And even like the history of knowing like what happened to Oswald is like very fascinating. And yeah, I'm glad that he's back with the Disney family. I wish we would have done a little bit more with him, aside with like Epic Mickey and a few cameos every now and then. But with this series, yeah, I'm definitely hyped for it, mainly because I'm like hoping they'll do something new with Oswald. I mean, they tried to in the past with I guess they tried to do like an animated series that never really came to fruition. But now with this, it's like I'm hyped for it, especially not because of Oswald coming back, but also he's going to be completely hand drawn. And after watching that clip, that sneak peek they showcased at the D23, that might be my favorite Oswald design ever. Not gonna lie, because he's just looked. I think he's a small little boy. He's a small, cute little bunny, and it's like definitely the cutest design out there of him. And at least according to like the sneak peek, I'm glad they kept him silent. Not to say like his speaking voice is bad or anything. To me, I see him as more just like a silent character where he doesn't really need to like talk or anything like that. So, but no, I'm just like hyped for the series. I'm curious to know what they're going to do with him. And I'm honestly glad that it is going to be like a mini series because, to be honest, when it comes to like the more serialization shows, I much prefer them being like as like a mini series or at least like a one season kind of show thing because if a show will go on for like if a serialized show will go on for like more than like 2 seasons at best, it just won't be as good as what it used to be. And I feel like it might get ridiculous at certain points. Not going to point out any shows in particular, but if you've seen one serialization show that goes on for more than like one season, you kind of get the gist of what to expect. But anyways, Oswald. Yeah, no, I'm super hyped. He's my all-time favorite Disney character. So excited. Little boy.
Little boy. No, honestly, like as an Epic Mickey fan myself, I mean, I'm definitely excited to see what's going to be in store with this. And even looking at the sneak preview that they provided, it does look pretty cute. Like it does look like it's also going to be an homage to Disney's legacy, but now through the lens of Oswald. So it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I love the way that they did animate Oswald in the clip in there. So I am rather surprised that it is just going to be a very short series, just like a small 3-parter thing. But you know what? Okay, that's fine. I'll take it. I mean, like the fact that, you know, like we're bringing Oswald back into the spotlight, like we're doing new projects with him. That's definitely going to be a lot of fun. So I'm definitely excited to see what's going to be in store with this series.
Yeah, less is more, honestly.
Yeah. So with that said, now let's go and jump on to some of the other animated features that Disney is going to bring out, because surprisingly, Disney has a lot of animated movies coming out next year, and they're not from either Disney Animation or Pixar. Starting things off, we actually do have actually it's right over here that they talked about it, is in regards to the new Simpsons movie. And yes, that's what the sequel of the film is actually going to be called. So they did initiate the convention by discussing about the new Simpsons movie and even showed a rough draft of a scene where Homer tries to catch a baseball and hijinks ensue. In fact, that's literally what is said over here. In fact, where is it actually? I think I remember there was a section where they did talk about it. Nope, that's you, Logan. Hello. No, wait, hold on. I remember there was something where they talked about it. I just need to go and find the right source to go in. Oh, yes, here it is. Okay, so it's on IGN. So, the way they describe the scene is we're being treated to storyboard illustrations of Homer trying to catch a home run at a baseball game where, of course, hijinks ensue as he chases the ball through the entire stadium, out into the street as a horde of fans are behind him trying to catch it. They chase it into the Bolorama and then into an operating room. The clip is hilarious and full of classic Simpsons gags. It ends with Homer diving into a giant beer container, which promptly explodes. He flies back into the stadium where Bart picks up the ball. And also, there is another big announcement that they have made, in which, let me just go and find it actually. So another big reveal that they showed is actually in regards to Bluey. Yes, they actually released a new teaser trailer of the feature, to which they presented that, yes, it is indeed going to be computer animated, which, by the way, the new Simpsons movie is going to be coming out in September of next year, while the Bluey movie is going to be coming out on August 6th of next year. And finally, one more thing that they have presented was Ice Age Boiling Point, since that is going to be coming out in February of next year, in which we got Dennis Leary and Queen Latifah discussing about the movie. And on top of that, I believe they mentioned that they showed a cute little clip of Scrat and Baby Scrat in their usual acorn chasing hijinks. So basically providing people with a little clip of what's coming up in Ice Age Boiling Point. Now, Logan, I'd like to know your thoughts about the 3 movies that I've just mentioned.
Surprisingly, as much of a big Simpsons and Bluey's fan I am, I honestly don't have really much to say about each of those movies.
Really?
I mean, I can summarize them really quickly. The Simpsons movie, I mentioned before that I'm a big Simpsons fan. I love the humor of that show, particularly the earlier seasons. But in regards to the second movie, I'm not super hype about it, but I am definitely intrigued to watch it, especially since, anytime I see like a hand-drawn 2D film in theaters, it's like a big event to me because those things are like so freaking rare now. So I am definitely intrigued what they're going to do with that one. As for Bluey, I'm surprised how much of a big fan I am of that show as I am, because it's like, yeah, it's a current preschool show. Like, why would I be a fan of that? But after just like watching like a couple episodes, like it got me like more. It felt different compared to like all the like modern preschool shows you'll find nowadays. And I'm man up to say it. Some episodes did make me cry like really hard. Is how well executed that show is.
Wow.
Yeah, not gonna like the recent episode, like The Sign. Not gonna lie, that made me cry for like 10 freaking minutes.
Oh my goodness.
But anyways, in regards to the movie itself, I mean, my expectations are pretty low on it because I kind of see it as like it's really hard to say because the CGI I was kind of hesitant about the CGI at first, but actually seeing it executed, it looks like it's looked really well executed. Like it does look really cute and all. As for like what the plot of this movie could be, I mean, let's face it, it's a kids movie. I'm not expecting like anything. Well, it's hard to say because it is Bluey. Like Bluey will definitely surprise me at certain points. I'm sure they will do something pretty big with it, but again, it's a kids film. I'm not expecting like anything too high about it. So I probably won't see it in theaters. I'm gonna wait till maybe when it's on like Disney Plus. And really quick, if you're really like upset about like the CG animation and you're like a grown ass adult, get over it. Shut up.
Yeah,
like,
you're not mature enough to go and watch Bluey at that point.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but as for Ice Age, it's a franchise. Honestly, I only seen like the first movie, and that's honestly like the only film I need to watch because from what I heard about like the sequels, they're not worth watching. So I really have no comment to say about like the new one other than who's animating this film. Like I know Blue Sky's no longer a thing, so
I think it's the animation studio in 20th Century.
Oh, like the main 20th.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. I was
like it's going to be main house in there.
Gotcha. I was quite sure if they were going to like outsource it to like a different studio or whatnot, but
or I believe someone is saying that apparently it is going to be outsourced at Bardell Entertainment, probably. So we'll see.
Gotcha. Yeah. Honestly, the most I can really say about this film is I've been watching Everybody Loves Raymond recently, so that's a good show.
Yeah. Honestly, I will say that. Like they're not among my most top priorities to go and like be hyped up about. I mean, like with Ice Age, I mean, it's another Ice Age, so I guess we'll wait and see. I'm just hoping at best maybe the scrap moments are going to be funny, because they have consistently been the best parts of the feature, where even if the movie itself is not good, at least like the scrap moments are funny. So like I guess we'll wait and see on that. The new Simpsons movie, I did see with what they have done with the rough animatic that they have presented. Like, honestly, I am curious to see how they're going to go and bring that to life. It was pretty cute. It was pretty funny, but I guess for now with the new Simpsons movie, I guess it's like another case of like, we'll wait and see when we do have more info about it. But I mean, I guess like some of the comedy looks like is going to be fun. And the Bluey movie, I say, well, that one looks cute. I mean, that's so far the best that I could go and say about it, is that it looks cute, so far. Like I'm not bothered by the bothered by the CG. I mean, it looks like it looks like what it is. They're taking Bluey and they're bringing it to CG, and I mean, it works. It looks fine. It looks fine. I don't see anything to really go and complain about.
No, I was like surprised how cute the animation was for that Bluey, at least a teaser. So yeah, they did a great job with that.
Yeah, it is nice. All right, so with that said, now let's go and jump onto the Pixar news. And there's been some real big ones that we have gotten. And the first thing that they've revealed from that is actually in regards to Incredibles 3, to which, of course, they did say that the Parr family, Frozone, and Edna Mode are going to be coming back, of course. But this time, however, Incredibles 3 is going to be focusing on the kids, specifically with Dash, Violet, and Jack, where they're going to be taking center stage, and that they want to go and prove to their parents that they could be supers who can manage on their own. Then following afterwards, we also got a bit of an update, or actually, let's go and talk about, since Incredibles is going to be released in June of 2028, let's talk about the other Pixar movie that's going to be coming out in 2028, which is a new original feature called Ghost Market, in which they promise that it's going to be a light horror, but it's still going to be funny. It even says here, reading from my source on Deadline, that the footage today shows a young boy, Kyle, walking into a dark, empty kitchen. He's just been forced to move to Hawaii by his family. He finds a bowl of warm soup that's been readily made, but it's a spooky place. And as he saw the soup, he's just looking around going, "Hey, do you guys take Apple Pay?" That's an actual quote from him. We then see him on FaceTime telling us that the movie is about hungry ghosts and that Ghost Market isn't like those other scary movies. Which also, just want to add that the soup with chopsticks would also go and chase him around. That's kind of like the ghost that you do see in there, in which that one, by the way, is going to be coming out in 2028. Then we have received some updates in regards to the sequel of Coco 2. Yes, we did get confirmation on how that movie is going to be. And that's going to be much later, by the way. That thing is not going to be coming out until November of 2029. But still, though, we did get some of our first looks, and they did present that on top of the fact that Miguel himself is, I thought we would get some pictures, but anyways, not only is Miguel himself now going to be a teenager, but it also promises the grand return of Ernesto de la Cruz. Yes, he's going to be back for revenge. But the biggest plot twist that we have received at this year's D23 in general is not just the big comeback of Dreamfinder, but also when they talked about Coco 2, they have also revealed that the Land of the Dead is going to be a brand new world that you can explore in Kingdom Hearts 4, to which that game is going to be coming out in late 2027. And by the way, just on a quick side note, speaking of Kingdom Hearts, they also revealed that there's going to be a brand new Kingdom Hearts series that's going to be coming soon on Disney Plus and Disney Channel. Now, we don't have any extra information about it, but what we do know is that we're going to be getting a brand new Kingdom Hearts series to which it will dive deeper into the lore of the Kingdom Hearts universe. Then afterwards, finally, they also showed a little bit of a clip of the next Pixar movie that's going to be coming out, which is Gato, to which they presented a new bird buddy that the main cat, voiced by Mark Ruffalo, is going to have. So basically, these two have to go and team up on their adventure, but well, as the bird is a pigeon, he's not the brightest ally that the cat can go and have. And that's going to be coming out next year on March 5th. So, Logan, I'd like to know your thoughts on these Pixar announcements.
I'll start off with the original films first, and then I'll get to the sequels. Gato, I gotta say, I got to see that movie.
Yeah, of course.
I can't. But anyways, yeah, that one I'm definitely intrigued about. At first, I got like a little concerned because when I first saw the concept art for it, I thought it was going to be like pretty similar to like Flow, that other movie about the black cat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it looks like it's going to do its own thing. So I was like, I'm definitely intrigued by it. Definitely love the art style for that, I will say.
Yes.
So
not to mention the teaser trailer was also really funny.
Oh, yeah, no, I love that teaser trailer too. It's like, you got to love that cat humor, you know?
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited for that. I'm also intrigued by, what's it called? Ghost Hunter?
Ghost Market.
Yeah, Ghost Market. Yeah, that one looks to be like cute and fun. Could have done it without the Apple Pay joke. That one was, But other than that, yeah, it looks really intriguing. If it's going to be like a kids horror film type deal, I'm definitely going to be fascinated because it's not often you get films like. I think the last one I can think of top of my head is Monster House. Like, do you remember Monster House?
Yeah, well, I think honestly, it's mostly been just the stop motion animated features that's been delivering it. You know, stuff like Paranorman, Coraline, or even Wendell and Wild. But yeah, the last time that we've had like a CG comedy horror animated film, I feel like it's been a long time, at least in terms of the mainstream.
Yeah, so I'm definitely intrigued what they're going to do with that one because I'm definitely loving like Pixar. Yeah, Pixar with their original films. Like I'm definitely loving like to see more of that. I still need to watch Hoppers and Elio. I'm slacking behind those two.
No, yeah, honestly, they are worth watching. I don't know if I would say they're like the best that Pixar can offer, but they're still very charming on their own.
Oh yeah, and the fact that we're still getting original films from Pixar is always a plus. So.
Oh yeah, of course.
In regards to the sequels, not gonna lie, not the biggest fan of those ideally, because here's the thing. When it comes to Incredibles 3, I did not care for the second one whatsoever. Like the only moments I did like from that film were the scenes with Alaska woman on the motorcycle. Motorcycle. Yeah, that and the Jack versus Raccoon part. I thought that was like the highlight of the film for me. That's like never laughed so hard in that scene. But besides those two moments, like everything else is like I just didn't really like care about like the story. The villain was lame. Overall, it didn't really grab me compared to like the first film, which is really great. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like I'm going to skip out on the third one. Unless I heard like really good things about it, then I really see no point in me like watching it. Coco, that one, out of all the Pixar films, I feel like Coco is the one that doesn't really need a sequel because I feel like it works by itself as it is. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm a little bit more optimistic about this one because it does sound like it could go into like more like the history of Coco herself, because I feel like despite the movie being called Coco, she did so little in that first film. So we could get more of like her backstory and all that stuff. And in regards to like Ernesto, I'll admit I'm not like the biggest fan of like villains returning for the sequels and all that stuff because they don't normally like do well. But there could like be potential like Ernesto coming back. Especially since, and I know like a lot of people on social media like brought this up, but you know there's going to be like those like dipshit fans that would still remember Ernesto L. Cruz despite him being a murderer and like be like, Oh no, he did this one bad thing, but overall he's a good musician. Trust me, guys. Like there's gonna be like those like assholes fans that'll still remember somebody like him because
Yeah.
unfortunately there are people that still respect people that are like terrible, awful human beings, and yeah.
Nah, I get what you mean. And just to go and give out my quick thoughts, honestly, I feel like when it comes to the sequels, at best, I'm just going to say we'll wait and see with how things go. I do agree, like, we don't need, like, another Incredibles or another Coco movie. Like, that, we're just going to have to see how things are going to go with those. I mean, maybe it could turn out great. Maybe it'll be a downgrade, but we'll just wait and see. But I will say when it comes to the original stuff, like, I will admit I did get a good laugh out of the Gato clip that they presented with the bird. That was a lot of fun to see. And especially like presenting more of the art style. That is honestly really cool. And I will admit, I guess I enjoyed the Ghost Market clip more than you did. Like that was another one that I kind of got a laugh, especially with the kid himself. And especially now with the idea that Pixar is going to dive a little bit into making kind of like this goofy horror film, it feels like it's going to be a fun new take with like they're trying to exercise their creativity with it. We'll see how it goes. So like even though we didn't get like a whole lot with what we've seen with Ghost Market, I am curious with what they are going to do with that one, especially if they are going to be playing a bit in that horror genre. So I would say with all the announcements, and then of course, like it goes without saying, the Kingdom Hearts announcement was unexpected, but yeah, I could like so far with what they've seen, with what they presented in the clips. I mean, so far with how they've pulled off the Land of the Dead in the game, like it looks phenomenal. And I mean, yeah, I mean, like if Kingdom Hearts is going, like, of course, if we're going to get a new world in Kingdom Hearts, like if they're able to pull off the grand scale of the Land of the Dead in Coco, then honestly, that's going to be very exciting to see how that's going to go.
Yeah, Coco was definitely a nice surprise world for Kingdom Hearts because if you know like the context of like what happened at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, which I could elaborate, but honestly, I'm not the right person to explain it because I can't even explain Kingdom Hearts in general. But no, if you know like the context.
No, you can't, Mr. Miller. No one can.
Yeah, but no, if you know like what happened at the end of the third one, then Coco definitely makes sense as to why this is a world in that game. But yeah, no, overall, like the execution of it, like it definitely it comes very close to being like the animation style of the film, so that's like really awesome. And I'm not going to go into like more details like what other worlds I'm going to predict down the road because we could be here for like another like couple minutes, and this podcast is going very long as it is.
Yeah, that's true. We're almost going at 4 hours at this point.
Oh shoot, that's my bad.
No, don't worry, we're not going to be at 4 hours. Well, like we only have a few announcements to do left.
Oh yeah, so really quick, yeah, awesome with that, and the TV series. I'm also really quick. I'm curious to know what that's going to be about. We'll have to wait and see what else they're going to announce it because I don't know what to expect out of the TV series, but I'll definitely be. I'll watch it. I'll just I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. All right, but we're going to go on to one more break, and we have one more batch of announcements that we are going to go and see. So, of course, stay tuned, and then we're going to go and talk about the upcoming animated features from Walt Disney Animation Studios. All right, welcome back, everyone. Now, we do have one more block of announcements to get into, and that is in regards to all the reveals that's going to be coming up at what happened at D23. And now we're going to be looking into all the reveals from Walt Disney Animation Studios. And the first one that we're going to be getting into is going to be in regards to their next animated feature, which is Hexed. Now, we didn't get any new trailer that came out from this, but what they did reveal is a couple of new characters. Alongside Billy, who's going to be voiced by Haley Steinfeld, there is also going to be a new ally, which is a green three-eyed cat named Beef Roger, who's going to be voiced by Walter Goggins. And also, we just witnessed the new villain, who's going to be Queen Celeste, who shall be voiced by Jodie Foster, in which that movie is going to be coming out this year on November 25th. Then afterwards, there is also the reveal that in the future, there is indeed going to be a Zootopia 3. Now, they didn't reveal much info on what's going to be going on with this. I mean, we know Judy Hopps is coming back. We know Gary DeSnake is going to be coming back. And if you have seen the post-credits, then you know that the next animals that they are going to go and use, or that's going to be featured, are going to be birds. So we don't know when this is going to be happening. My guess is possibly we're not going to hear from this until maybe 2029 or 2030, but we know that Zootopia 3 is officially in production. Then afterwards, Disney also made a big reveal of a new original animated feature that's going to be coming out in 2028, in which is going to be called Clay, which will be focusing on mentors, considering that Disney has a long, great history of mentor-like characters, whether it be with Merlin from The Sword and the Stone, or even Timothy Q. Mouse in Dumbo and stuff like that. So from there, we also got a brand new movie that's all going to be about mentors. And Jared Bush was there to go and present it. As he states here, what if the next Disney mentor stunk? And he does. His name is Flip, and he's chosen to be the village's next great mentor. His student is a literal ball of clay born that very moment named Mushi. Mushi is a being of chaos. Flip has to keep him alive. And the only piece of info that we have received from Clay is that Kieran Culkin is going to be the voice of Flip. And on top of that, it also promises that we're going to have a brand new art style that's going to be presented. One that's going to be a lot more fantastical, one that's more rounded, and one that's going to be emphasizing more on the fun aspect of watching animated movies. So that's going to be coming out in November of 2028. And finally, last but certainly not least, one of the biggest reveals at D23 is the new info that we got from Frozen 3. Yes, considering that movie is coming out on November of 2027, we did get some new info and a new clip that's going to be featured in there. In which with Frozen 3, love is going to be a prominent theme, considering that Anna and Kristoff are finally getting married. But on top of that, they also sang a brand new song that's going to be featured in there, which is going to be a love ballad, but believe it or not, it will be sung by Olaf, in which he sung about the love of his life, which is going to be a brand new character. Yes, Olaf is getting a girlfriend, in a snow girlfriend, in fact, named Samantha. But what's more, however, is that in Frozen 3, for the first time in the franchise, there is going to be a straightforward villain, to which we don't know who she is, we don't know what she looks like, but it's going to be another Ice Queen. And I think it would be interesting to note that she also has short black hair. And if you're familiar with the history of Frozen, that does sound a little bit familiar now, don't it? Now, Logan, I would like to know your thoughts on all these announcements from Disney Animation.
Just like with the Pixar ones, I'm going to start off with the original films first, and before I get to the sequels. So Hex. Okay, so here's the thing about Hex. People are so overreactive towards this movie. They need to calm down. Seriously, this is not the worst thing ever out there. And I don't care what excuse you're going to give it to, oh, the animation is similar to the other films. Oh, it's just a ripoff of the Owl House, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. you guys need to calm down. It's a harmless movie. I'm not expecting this film to be like the best thing ever. I think it's going to be promising whatsoever. Is it going to be the greatest film ever? No. But is it going to be like a charming film? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. But God, they're just so annoying when it comes to like the reactions I see out of this film. It's like the problems I had with like the reaction towards Wish. It's like people were like, Wish is just fine. Like I'm not saying like that's a perfect film, but I thought it was okay. But the hate toward that movie is just so overblown that it's like I'm not even sure which one's worse: the hate towards Wish or the hate towards Hex. They're just both so equally annoying that I mean I'm definitely going to be seeing Hex. I'm definitely going to give my support towards it. So it's like will I expect great things out of it? No, but it doesn't have to be. It's a nice fantasy film towards kids. That's like I'm sure they'll go love it, and I'm sure like who knows, maybe we could be surprised by it. But overall, at the end of it, just please shut up. Just shut up about it, okay? Sorry to go on that rant. It's just
dude, I've said that already. I know I've gone through that several times, in fact. So I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's just so annoying that it's like I had to like say something about it. And I mean, I guess while we're on the topic, do you want to give your thoughts about Hex?
Well, so far I will say that I mean, so far with what we've seen with the teaser trailer, I mean, like, it's not the most exciting thing. I get that. And there could be a few criticisms, but nothing to get overblown about it. So far, I think, like, so far with what we're getting is fine. And I am very curious to see how the witch world is going to be. That I am excited for. But so far, like, if we could get back into the main subject with the new announcements, I am curious to see like how these characters are going to be now that like it's confirmed we're getting a new villain with Queen Celeste, which kind of looks like now we're going to be getting the Disney version of Lady Dimitrescu, which honestly I'm not complaining. Like she is more than welcome. But also I am curious to see how things are with Walter Goggins' character as well. So honestly, like I want to see a lot more of the fantastical elements that Hex would go and offer. So we'll see how things are gonna go. But I mean, so far, like I'm gonna keep myself a bit optimistic on this.
Yeah, no, the new characters they reveal in the trailer do sound pretty interesting. Yeah, with that cat character, he kind of gives me like Cheshire Cat vibes in a sense. So he does look really cool, and yeah, the villains look really cool. Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued. Yeah, because Disney, the newer films, they definitely need more villains. We're just missing out. Like, I mean, yeah, we got that one guy from Wish, but he was okay at best. So not the worst villain, but
Disney has made a lot worse villains than Magnifico. And I mean, like to his credit, like Chris Pine did give out a fun performance. Like that's probably the one thing I enjoyed the most out of him.
Oh yeah. Going to the next original film, Clay, the people that are complaining about the art style of Wish can finally shut up because this art style is amazing. From the concept art alone, it just looks like this is definitely like the most different I've seen coming from Walt Disney Animation Studios, because they barely, like, even when you like compare like the older films from like the 40s, 50s, like, yeah, there are like some changes, but you can definitely tell like that's like the Disney look. But with this one, I think like not since like Dinosaurs where I see something that looks drastically different from like what you expect from Disney. Like, and I'm just loving it. Like you say, like it's definitely like rounds and like more like colorful and all that stuff. And like, yeah, we just see like the concept art, but I'm definitely hyped for this one. I'm curious to see where they're gonna go with this one.
No, I am curious too. It does look very cute. It does look very colorful. Like it does feel like Disney is now trying, it does feel like now they're stepping out of their own comfort zone to try something new with it. So I am looking forward to see what they have in store with that one. But I mean, we won't know much info until like much later though.
Oh yeah, it won't be for a while. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes peeled for that one. Yeah, I can't really think of anything to say about that one, other than is it just me, or does the main character kind of look like Rayman in a sense?
Nah, some people in the chat wall are even mentioning that, like, he does have that Rayman-like vibe.
Okay, yeah, so I'm not
It's
the
like,
only one.
yeah, it does look, it does look reminiscent to that style, like either Rayman or Bone or stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's a complaint or anything. I just say that he kind of looks like he kind of reminds me of Rayman in a sense.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Yeah, those ones. Oh, really quick, side changer in regards to Hex. Another thing I'm looking forward towards that film. I know you didn't mention this, but I'm very intrigued about that Lilo and Stitch short that's going to be attached to that film.
Oh, right. Yeah. That one, Lilo and Scratch.
Yeah, really quick. I'm kind of random. They're bringing back the original Lilo and Stitch to theaters, but hey, I can't complain. I mean,
it's a new animated short. I mean, like, I talked with another friend of mine, Rachel, about this, that, hey, I mean, we're getting new animated shorts, so we might as well go and take it.
Exactly, yeah. And then the only other film we got to talk about is Frozen 3, right?
Well, there's also there is Zootopia 3. Well, I mean, unless you want to, is there something you want to say, or?
We'll talk about, I'll mention Zootopia 3 quick. I don't know why I forgot about that one. Yeah, that's a no-brainer for the third one because, yeah, Zootopia, really popular right now. It's already made like a billion at the box office, and
yeah, almost 2 billion, in fact.
Getting close to it, yeah. At first, I wasn't quite sure about how I feel about the second one, but after watching it, it was a lot more better than I thought it was going to be. Like, I definitely enjoyed it, and after seeing that and also experiencing Zootopia Land at Shanghai Disneyland, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to the third one, especially since it's going to involve birds. And given my username, like, I'm definitely hyped for that. So,
oh, true. You can't wait to see the toucan character.
Yeah, if there's going to be a toucan, I'm hoping there's a one, but only time will tell.
Yeah, true. And as for Frozen 3,
okay, so I'm sure as you can tell in the background here, I'm definitely a big fan of the first Frozen film. Like, yeah, I know it's overrated at this point, but honestly, I don't care. It's still honestly in my top 5 favorite Disney films from Walt Disney Animation Studios. Just with the characters, the music, the animation, and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely one of my personal favorites. Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of the sequel, Frozen 2. I thought that one's okay. I mean, I didn't care as much as the first one. Honestly, the only thing I did like about Frozen 2 were the 2 Elsa songs. I thought those were amazing. And that ad-lib of Samantha, that got a big laugh out of me. But other than those 2, yeah, I just didn't really care as much for Frozen 2. And I was going to say the same thing about Frozen 3, where I'm going to be yeah, it's there. I'm probably going to care less. But after watching that clip from the movie, I'm honestly starting to feel really hype about Frozen 3. I feel like this could be even better than the second one. But again, it's hard to say at this point because we just saw that one clip. And yeah, no, as a Frozen fan, I'm definitely intrigued where they're going to go with that direction, especially since like I said, given the history of the making of that film, if they're going to go that direction with the villain, then yeah, I'm definitely really hyped for what they're going to do with her.
Yeah, honestly, I think out of all the sequels that they have announced and stuff like that, I think Frozen 3 is the one that I'm the most excited for. I did hear that Samantha song that Josh Gad sung, and honestly, that was pretty funny. But then I saw the clip and seeing that villain, I was honestly a bit shocked. I was like, are they legit doing that OG Elsa coming in as the legit villain? That has really got me intrigued. So
yeah,
honestly, that's the one that I'm really hyped up for. I think honestly, I would say that so far, out of all the announcements from Disney Animation, I think Frozen 3 is my most anticipated one.
No, yeah, same here. Same with granted, all these films I'm really hyped for when it comes to the studio alone, but Frozen 3, yeah. Well, actually, no. For me, it'll be Clay first, and then Frozen 3 are the top 2 I'm hyped for. And yeah, no, and I'll say this, going back to the villain, I feel if done really well, I feel she might be way better than Hans. I mean, granted, Hans is not really much of a villain to begin with, but And I already forget who the villain was in the second one, but I feel like, yeah, if all goes well, she might be the superior Frozen villain, but only time will tell.
I mean, Hans is not too bad. I wouldn't say he's a bad twist villain, but yeah, no, I could definitely see how there can be ways where you could create a villain that could even top Hans for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie. Hans was a nice surprise when I first saw it in theaters, but yeah, I mean, I feel like with this one, she's going to be a villain from beginning to end, or at least I'm hoping she's going to be from beginning to end. I just hope they don't do like the redemption arc towards her, because I feel like we got enough villains of that. At least when it comes to like the recent films, we don't need a redemption arc for all the villains, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
So, but again, only time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see. And with that said, now I want to know for the chat wall, I'd like to ask you, Wall, what are the biggest highlights for you in terms of the animation announcements at D23? Let me know what you think in the chat here. There's definitely some awesome announcements. For me, I'm most excited for Oswald, and he looks so cute. Ghost Market, the Kingdom Hearts series, Coco and Kingdom Hearts 4, Frozen 3, and Zootopia 3. Personally, I'm really shocked about that announcement. I expect to get a Zootopia 3, but I didn't expect to get it so soon. The second movie has only come out less than a year ago. Well, it's only an announcement, and again, I don't think this thing is going to be coming out until like 2020, well, maybe 2029. No, not even, because Coco is taking the place in 2029. So it's going to
be a while.
It could be like 2030 even.
Could be, yeah. Yeah, I'm not expecting it to be like so sudden, because the gap between Zootopia 2 and the first one was so long that it's like, I'm not sure they'll go the same distance, but I feel like it won't, yeah, like you say, like probably won't be till like much later down the road.
Yeah, exactly. This was an absolutely killer lineup. The new Simpsons movie clip was really funny. The Bluey movie looks adorable. Coco 2 has some potential. Incredibles 3 looks like another Incredibles movie. My friends at Club Nimona went insane over the reveal of Jodie Foster in Hexed. Ghost Market could be fun. Just hooked Zootopia 3 to my veins. And Clay sounds pretty interesting. And it's nice getting Kieran Culkin in a real animated film for once. Isn't that right, Angel Studios?
Wait, who did he play it? Wait, what movie was he in?
I'm not sure. I think, if you could provide, sorry if you need to go and explain the joke, but if you could explain some context, I'm probably guessing Animal Farm, maybe. Yeah, Animal Farm. Okay. That makes sense.
I haven't seen it, but I heard really bad things about it.
Yeah, same here. Anyways, I might be crazy for just saying this, but Frozen 3 is not only my most anticipated film of 2027, but my most anticipated film of all time. More info on Hex is making me hyped even more. Jason Hand at D23 only gave me an exclusive kick-ass sketch of Roger. Clay by Fawn V and Ryan Green looks fun. I love the Dr. Seuss vibe in it. Also with Pixar, I'm looking forward to Ghost Market, Gato, and Incredibles 3. So yeah, I had a blast at D23 in Anaheim. All right. Let's see. So let's see. The new Walt Disney Animation Studios announcements left me both more excited for Hex than Clay. I'm very excited for Ghost Market and Gato. Incredibles 3 and Coco 2 look promising, and overall, this was just a great showcase. Ice Age 3 is still among my hyped films. I'm a diehard Blue Sky fan. It's inevitable. I'm still very hyped for, again, Hex and Gato, and Ghost Market has been added to my hype collection. I'm also very interested in Clay. All right. Let's see what other comments are there just to see. I think I'll read a few more and then we could go and cap this off because we are almost getting at the 4-hour mark. Anyways,
man.
Oswald series looks cute and it's hand-drawn animation. Still looking forward to Hex, and they did mention that it's not like the Owl House. That is true. Like Jared Bush did have to go and confirm that. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. The new original film Clay is promising with a new art style. Still mad about Beef Fried, but hey, Gato and Ghost Market are coming. And the Fat Cat face in Gato looks like my cat. The new Simpsons movie animatic scene is hilarious. Finally, the Kingdom Hearts series. Heck yeah. Frozen 3 introduces a new lover for Olaf, and we all knew Zootopia 3 was coming. All right. Let's see. I think I'll read one more comment to go and cap, or two more comments to go and cap this off. So let's see. The animation segment is wild. There's going to be a new Pixar original film with a special look, new original Disney animation film, and an announcement to Zootopia 3, as well as the Bluey movie. Despite the 3D animation is weird, a long story, and characters are great, then or as long as the story is fine and the characters are great, then I'll be happy. But the biggest shocker for me is that there's going to be a Kingdom Hearts series, and honestly, I didn't know what to expect. It kind of reminds me that they tried to do that series back in 2000, now found in lost media. All right.
Yeah.
A lot to unwind from for this as well. Like, Oswald is super cute. I already want to see it now. Simpsons, not huge on the series, but it did give me quite a laugh. Bluey is so adorable. I would pick it up and give it a hug. Ice Age, I say pass, but there's a chance. And all the films from the studios, all intriguing, and I'm so happy for Olaf. All the sequels are really something to hype up about. Zootopia 3 especially. I love to see them, and I cannot wait. And with that said, everyone, that should do it for this giant round of the D23 special of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. Logan, thank you so much for joining me on this, man. Hey, and by the way, before we go, is there any place that we could go and follow you? If people enjoyed you here, where can we find you?
So yeah, well, first off, thank you again for having me on board. I had a great time as always. Again, I do apologize for this podcast going way much longer than expected. I just can't help myself by going over like overly detailed with like all the news and all that stuff. But yeah, in regards to like where you can find me, I still got like a Twitter account. I do have a Blue Sky account, YouTube. You can find me under my username ToucanLDM. I'm sure if you like type it in, you can easily find my little toucan icon. And then to be honest, haven't really been posting as much on there because I'm still hard at work on my passion project, Amazement Park, which, by the way, I guess I do apologize for that taking much more longer than expected. With my personal life and how time consuming animation is, it's just like I kind of find like the right balance between both of them. But I am still working hard on Amazement Park. It's coming along very nicely. I want to say I'm like 75% done completed. So it's getting there, but I still got a lot more to work on. So I'm sure the wait will be worth it. And at this point, I kind of treat this more as like me making like a movie than like a half-hour thing. So it'll be a nice little like experiment to try out to see how far I can take my animation skills and whatnot. So, but if you want to learn more about that project, yeah, definitely follow me on social media. I will make occasional posts about it every now and then. And again, I do apologize that it's taking me this long since I made that announcement back in 2023. Ugh.
Well, I mean, it's an animated project. People are used to like these things taking forever. But on my end, however, if you guys want to follow for more crazy news or more crazy stories to talk about in AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, of course, you could go and subscribe to the YouTube channel and to the Twitch channel AniMat Live. And on top of that, if you are following me on, or if you're listening to this on whatever podcast service you're listening to, then don't forget to go and follow me there, whether it be on Spotify, Apple, Google, and many, many more. And with all that said, I want to go and say thank you all so much for listening. Thank you so much for staying throughout this entire thing. And don't forget, on the next episode, we will bring things back to normal. So until next time, see you later, dudes.